What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
How is my dog? Always good to see you. How we living over there, man?
Everything's good, man. Yourself?
Man, I can't complain, man. It's a beautiful Wednesday. I finally got the day right. I've called today every day but Wednesday. Anytime they play on Monday Night Football, the Steelers, it throws my whole week off. So yeah, I've been stuck between today being Tuesday and today being Thursday. I finally got it though. It's Wednesday. We got another show tomorrow. We back in the saddle tomorrow like how it always is. And yeah, everything be good back in the place to be. So now that I have that situated, yes, can't complain, man. Still good in the hood. But
hey, it happens. Understandable.
Yes.
I thought it was the big Bills-Patriots matchup tonight.
Oh, see, that would make sense because it would.
You know how much I want the Bills to lose, but dude, in terms of hey, listen, we need the Bills to win tomorrow.
Time out.
We need the Bills to win tomorrow. Try to knock the Patriots out of the wild card.
No. We are not having this conversation like that. How do you just throw that out there? You know how much I want the Bills to lose. Really?
It's always nice seeing them lose. I'm not going to front.
Why? When did that become a thing, man?
I got no reasons. No reasons.
Like,
no
bro,
reasons.
What in the world? That is just such a miserable.
I think it's just naturally happened.
He said, "Yeah, I can't wait to see them lose. You know, I'm rooting for that. Like, dang, this is the Bills. Like, who doesn't love the Bills, man? You can't not love the Bills, man. Come on now, baby."
Listen, we need them to win tomorrow. So
that is funny, man. But that is tomorrow, and I do anticipate them taking care of
I thought it was today
as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. My day's thrown off a little bit.
Yes, but man, you still got to chill with that though, man. That set me off. I couldn't even intro the way I like the intro right there. The way you said that, like, yeesh. So.
No, yes. No. Don't take it personally or anything.
Don't take it personally.
I wouldn't do that.
How are you going to say don't take it personally?
It's nothing against you.
Look, we're not even 5 minutes in the episode, and you said already, I was looking forward to them losing. Like,
we need them to win. I switched my team. We need them to win. We need them to beat the Patriots.
We can't even just lie to each other for the first 10 minutes. At least act like we cool. Like, dang.
We are cool. That's what I mean. Don't take it personally or anything. It's for the Steelers.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I guess, I'm rooting for the Bills to lose. I guess doesn't really have too much to do with the Steelers.
That's what I'm trying to figure. I'm just like, bruh, sheesh.
We need the Bills to win for the Steelers, though, tomorrow.
There we go. So we can all be Bills fans tomorrow. Is that what you're telling me? All right. That sounds good to me.
No, I'm not saying that. Hey, man, we're just going to watch the game, and we need the Bills to win. That's all.
We can all become honorary members of Bills Mafia tomorrow. I will swear all of us in. Don't worry about it. I got us.
I can't accept. But we still need them to win.
Yes. So, you know what? Whenever I need the Bills to win, I usually have like my game day attire that I can break out. Since we need them to win tomorrow, this is what you said now. You said we need them to win. I could do a little extra and make sure that I'm in, my necessary attire so the Bills could be, victorious. That's all I'm saying.
You're making it sound like we're twisting your arm or something.
I don't want to. This is like pulling teeth with me. But since you said we need them to win, I might have to break out all the stops so we can get that victory for them tomorrow. So that way the Steelers can enjoy that. I'm assuming that's what we're doing, right? So, all right, I got us.
We need the Patriots to get bumped down a notch in the wild card race. That's what we're looking for. Because they are 6-5 right now. It'd be better if they were 6-6.
So
the Chargers, the Jets, those teams, we just need to keep losing. Throughout the rest of the season.
I'm picking up what you are putting down. Duly noted. I got us for tomorrow. Don't worry about this. I got us. So, with that being said, though, man, let's start the show how we normally started without some hateration to start the show off, all right? Let's start on a positive note. Let us know where you're tuning in from in the chat, and we'll give you the big boy shout-outs. Jeez. He done took the whole positive vibe and was just like, I'm going to send a hater vibe your way early on just to set the tone today. All right, fair enough.
We got Rockstar 30, 724 PA.
Let's get it, man. I like
Hunter 95, 610, Bethlehem, PA.
Shout out to Bethlehem, PA. Okay.
Jacob Alessio, 919NC in the house as always.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Clark, 540, Roanoke, Virginia. Erica Esslinger, 910NC.
Let's go. Shout out to Erica. Okay.
Robert Cotting, 860, Connecticut.
All right, well, let me tap in too, man, because I got my man Jar Devil. You know, he's tuning in from the 310 San Pedro, California in the house. Craig Ellis tuning in from the 717 Lancaster, PA. You know, I got to shout out Leah Warren tuning in from the 254 Killeen, Texas in the building as always. We got the homie AJ Martinez, who's been out here super duper early. You know we're going to tap in, baby. Big time respect, but he's always tuning in from that New Mexico, Santa Fe area. We got Russell Swartz tuning in from the Hermitage, PA 724. And we can't forget about Just Learning, the 575 Taos, New Mexico. Love that. And I'm going to spin that thing back over to you, man. You get the last little couple, and then we'll tap into these supers to start the show.
I got a few here. Steve Brooks, Portsmouth, always in the house.
The crib. Love P-Town. In fact, man, when I was just down there for Thanksgiving, man, I got a chance to go by my old first job. Wendy's. Took a picture in front of everything, Deke, man. And brought some nostalgia back, man. Just throwing it out there, man. Brought some nostalgia
Didn't
back,
order
man.
anything?
I didn't even go in, man. It was like about to close. They had one light halfway on, one light halfway off. I remember how it was when I was working. And that was a sign. You don't want to eat anything that's going to be coming up out of there. You remember what you did to the food,
too. You'd be worried there's some young moats in there.
Hey, look. I barely want to deal with late-night fast food. I'm definitely not going to that particular location, late-night fast food. Not a chance. I know what I grabbed. Yeah, I know what I was sending out. This me, this ain't me. I know what I was doing. So, yeah, they might have come a long way. And if they did, great. But whoever was in charge of hiring me, shame on you. More you because I was not ready. I was not.
I'll do two more here. Rod Dallas, 330, Youngstown, Ohio.
Let's
Joey Weaver, the 920, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Let's get a win streak going.
Shout out to Manitowoc, man. Absolutely, man.
All right, super chats?
Yeah, let's do that.
Wait, did you have something about Manitowoc?
No, I was I did and then I forgot it. In the sense of my mother-in-law is actually from the Wisconsin area. And they always tell me, I'll say, you know, Manitowoc. And they're like, yeah, we're from this spot. It's like right over here. And I'm like, right when I needed to remember it, I didn't. So that was going to be my Manitowoc reference and I failed it. So that's why I was like, don't worry about it. Yeah, we just keep going. Yeah.
You don't remember the exact spot.
Shout out to
Hey, we were just there. Right? We were out that way last year.
Were.
Appleton, right?
Yeah, Appleton. Absolutely. We was up that way, man. Yeah. See, they got goats on the roof or something like that up that way. Yeah, man.
We got AJ Martinez. If you don't know, you better ask somebody.
Uh-oh.
Road Doggy Dog and Mr. Arse in the house. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go, chat. Let's go, M&D. Run the table.
Now. What's up now? We got the Road Dog, just the chains right here. In the bad and been it good. What's up? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the type of energy we need on this Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Shout out to AJ, man. He always bring it the right way, man.
Especially on our Steelers-Falcons preview episode.
Oh, yeah. It's a preview. Don't like what we like. Don't like, man. We on beef mode today, man. We got beef with anybody that ain't a part of Steeler Nation today. That's what we on today.
AJ Martinez is just on a run, so all these chats I'm about to read off are from him. It looks like the next probably 7 or 8. He says,
hold on. And salute AJ Martinez as well because... Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's probably like $50.
All of these came prior to the show even starting. We started at 4 o'clock. His last comment that you're going to read in this area was at 3:47 p.m. So big time salute to AJ on the early getting it off his chest, man. So just want to shout you out for that, man. We definitely appreciate you as always, though, AJ. You know that.
He says, I've been a Steeler fan since the Steelers went over the Rams Super Bowl. My opinion about this present team, we have way too much talent to struggle the way we do. Okay, so yeah, he just keeps going on. This is a thread here. He says, even Bobby Brister got us to within 1 point of beating Elway for a trip to the Super Bowl. Yes, the game has changed, but so have the rules. Just ask Bradshaw back in those days, everyone would get body slammed on their heads, especially in the House of Pain, Houston Astrodome. They were hungry destroyers. Everyone was Debo back then. 6-33 with fighting games, whomever. Now, I don't know what I'm watching. Like I said on Space Talk, yes, we are young, yes, we are learning, but damn it, we are the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't see Steeler football. I don't care if we are getting our tails kicked by 50, but we need to play Steeler ball. Head knocking, soul taking, blitzburging, smash mouth ball, defense and offense. And he says, good Wednesday, last class, finals day. So I am a little hot, fired up, ready to crush my final, bringing me closer to helping others. Much love to all in the chat. Much love to Moats and Deke. I'm so freaking inspired today. I almost need to be in a padded room. Let's go.
Let's go! AJ turned up, man. AJ, you know I love when you got that energy. Now, number one, we talking Steelers ball. We even getting the positivity from you going into your last class finals day. Get you jacked up, ready to kill it, man. Come on. And on the bright side, you also, once you come out of this thing, you will be able to help a lot more people, man. So salute you for each and every one of those things from the heart, as we always tell you. Now, in terms of some of the Steelers stuff, man, because you did have a lot that you went to unload right there. So, you know, we'll walk this thing on down. In terms of the physicality that you were referencing, man, trust me, the players still are capable of that. In fact, I personally think they're capable of being even more violent than what we saw back then, just because of the capabilities of the athletes today, right? We talked about back in the 70s and the 80s where those guys were training, and some of them did it year round, but a lot of them that wasn't the full-time profession like how it is in today's NFL, where these guys dedicate every ounce of their time to keeping their body to where it needs to be the best athlete they can be, right? Size, strength combination. So if they truly desired to hit people like how they did back then, they could definitely do that. Probably take some people out realistically, man. But through time, experience, and wisdom, we've learned that, hey, man, that's not the best for, number one, the short term for players' success, right, and having careers, but then also the long-term effects, some of the long-term damage ramifications. So that's why the rules have been how they are to get that out of the game, so to speak, and why the fines have been so hefty, specifically when you talk about a James Harrison who was fined 6 figures for essentially 4 hits that were of that type of class. So yeah, the NFL has definitely changed that dynamic because of the health and safety element of it, and that has made us not be able to play to the same original steel curtain style that I'm sure you and a lot of the older Steeler fans might have been accustomed to. But in terms of success, as you said, there are multiple ways to be successful. You brought up Bubby Brister. You also brought up Terry Bradshaw, 2 drastically different styles of quarterbacks in terms of talent, in terms of overall success and things like that. But yeah, you can still win with that. And that's the same thing that we're seeing today. It's not style points, but they're still winning. They're still very much competitive, still very much in the conversation. As you said, the division, right? The best team in the division has 7 wins. We're sitting at 4. So even on our quote unquote most awful, god awful doomsday situation that a lot of people have essentially looked at this year as, we are still 3 games behind winning our division, and we played the team that's in the lead in our division. I believe still Baltimore. We played them 2 times, and we still got Cleveland as well. So we could still turn around and win a division on top of that. So when we're thinking of what you're breaking down here and what you're speaking on, you're still witnessing it. It's just not glamorous. It's not the style points. It's not going to be as sexy, quote unquote, but it's still productive. And that's the thing that we've been seeing. That's the thing that we've been talking with this offense, even with Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, the different versions of running backs, the defensive players that have stepped up and stuff like that. So we're getting those very same things. A different display of how it's being presented, but it's still very much there. And that's the part where we just have to understand that element of it. It's not always going to look glamorous, but we still are doing all those things that you're crying, or not crying about, but that you're hungry for and that you're crying out for. We are still getting those. It's just it's not the way that we're accustomed to it from these previous, 10 to 15 years, especially when we had 7 here and stuff like that. But we getting it though, man. And we're going to be just fine. That's the beauty as well, man.
I think we're getting there. I mean, just
that's what I'm saying.
2-3 weeks ago after that Saints game, what was I yelling about? Steeler football. We're back. Because we did see a more physical version of ourselves. And I feel like we are in this second half starting to weed out or starting to see who the dogs are in the team. I think we have pretty much. I don't think there's anyone you could point out and say like, yeah, this guy's soft. I think we got all those dudes.
You're not seeing a lot of dudes turn down contact. Now, it's the difference between a guy missing a tackle or a guy not executing to the best of his ability versus a guy turning down contact, not being physical. We have a very physical team. We don't execute the best all the time. And that's, like I said, a different conversation. That's the difference between skill versus being a hard worker. No different when you heard the Coach Tomlin analogy. Was it stumping on grapes versus making wine? Working at the shipyard versus being an architect, or a bricklayer versus an architect. One is a very, very hard worker, but it's not necessarily to the same level of skill as this architect is. Both are still important. You need both, but it's just different in terms of what you're asking from them. But we're very much getting the physical part of it, and now we're also seeing the skill start to come along as well. And in this scenario, it's just that the physical was there first and the skill is coming a little bit after the fact. But yeah, I'm with you though, Deke, man. We definitely have been seeing some of that still of football that, my man AJ was talking about, baby. Absolutely.
Yeah, we get a TJ Watt back, so that means the defense is better than what it was in the first half. Although we didn't really get to see it on full display against the Bengals. That was a little bit of a down game for the defense. But we've won 2 of our last 3. We're running the ball better. I think we are actually
running the ball a lot
top
better.
5 in the league over these last 3 games in our rushing yards.
Yeah, we've been doing
that's what Steelers football
man.
is. Run the ball, control the clock, have the quarterback clutch up, make some big moment plays, big moment throws, and then play some really good defense. Like, we're getting there. This is a lot better than what we were seeing in the first half, I think, over these last 3 games.
Absolutely. And like we said, this is in year 1 of the full transition. So, like you said, we're getting all of these things. It's just we want to expedite. And we've talked about that a lot as well. Just the instant finished product versus having to actually go through this journey. As we're going through it, we're learning a lot. We're seeing a lot. But we're also learning that, hey, it's not as bad as we thought it was at times. In some cases, it's not as good as we thought it was either. But we can definitely feel a lot better today where we're sitting at versus how people were feeling after week 3. And we know for a fact that energy week 3. It was not like how it is right now, man.
Yeah. We got Ryan McPherson.
Shout out to Ryan.
This is the next one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Should we give the keys to the city to Wiz, 7, or KPH? 7. Out of those 3, 7.
I feel like, out of that group, it 7, yeah. Because Wiz, I don't know if that's family friendly enough, He's a part of our culture. I think we would support him, but I don't know if that's going to be family friendly enough for everybody, man. Yeah. I don't know how many researchers that are in the city of Pittsburgh to that level to give him the key to the city. That's all.
Yeah, it's no hate on Wiz. I just think
it's no hate on Wiz.
Ben deserves it more than Wiz in terms of the keys to the city. You don't think? So you would give it to Wiz?
Man. Well, I said it's different for me. I don't view, the extracurriculars of the research as a negative, but that's not always the case. And that's what I'm saying. So it's a lot easier to simply back 7. That's why I'm like, hey, man, I ain't getting into that. But yeah, if it's me, I like them both. I give them both the kid to see. Because I need 7 because 7 going to get me through them games. But I need Wiz because Wiz get me through that life. Like, also I'm saying, man, like, yeah.
Moved out to LA though. We'll just give it to 7. 2 Super Bowls.
7 never introduced me to Cushion orange juice. Yeah, Cushion orange was a daily. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, his first however many mixtapes, right? His first 3, 4, 5, and then even some of those early albums. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, that's all. So I rocks with them both. I don't want to choose. It's like choosing between, I don't know, which pair of shoes I like better. I like them all. So yeah, give them both the key. And then Kenny, you get we'll give you the code, but you don't get the actual key. Kenny gets the code to the city, not the key to the city. If he earns it, then we'll give him the key. There we go. Let's go,
UW. Prayers up for Latang.
What happened to Latang? I didn't catch that. What happened?
Yeah, he had a stroke.
What?
This is actually his second one. He had one back in 2014.
That's
he had a stroke. From what it sounded like, he's doing pretty good right now. He was taken to the hospital and everything. He's actually trying to pull a Minka and asked when could he start skating.
Oh, he on that energy.
Yeah,
Well,
so like, yeah, I think he's
yeah,
good, but yeah, obviously alarming. Anytime you have a
yeah,
stroke, and
heck
he's
yeah,
like 34 or 35. But I think
yeah.
it has something, whatever I was reading today, it has something to do with his heart. He has some type of irregular
Mm,
heart from when he was born. A lot of
okay,
things, for the most part, with people, I don't want to botch this up because obviously I'm
yeah.
not a doctor, but apparently what happened with his heart, a lot of people or everyone like grows out of it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still like has stuck with him, and I
Gotcha.
guess he has to deal with maybe some
Yeah,
irregularities with his heart
yeah,
at an adult age, and that has what
okay,
contributed. Because, like I said, he had a stroke back in 2014, which is
yeah,
insane in your
yeah.
20s.
Well, the thing was when you said that he's only the second athlete that I know. I'm sure it's probably other guys, but for me, the only guy that I heard of having strokes while playing was Teddy Bruschi up when he was in New England. I remember when
Uh,
when he had one, but yeah, that was kind of like a rarity, and we just thought that was just a Bruschi thing. But yeah, that's nuts about Latane, man. I'm glad that he's all right though. Sheesh, that's yeah, definitely not
Obviously, prayers
a
up
thing
to
that
those
you want
guys.
to go through. Heck no, man. Definitely big prayers for Latane, man.
Farron Bradford, do not let
Oh,
Mariota use his
and hold
legs.
on, and for those that don't know, we're talking Chris Letang with the Pittsburgh Penguins,
Right.
defenseman. Yeah, yeah, been here. What 3-time champion? Yeah, he won three
Yep.
here. Yeah, 3-time
Yeah.
champion with the Pens. Yeah, yeah, still a part of that group. When you talk about Sid the Kid, Malkin and company, like he's very much been a part of that conversation. That's the guy. Just for the non-hockey people that might not know, just give y'all a little context. Yeah.
Farron Bradford, do not let Mariota use his legs. Offense continues to execute at a high level and do not play with Terrell. This ain't a gimme game.
Shout out to Fan Bradford. I can't wait. We definitely gonna talk about that, man. But you're right on par, man. Where I like the direction you're at because yeah, his legs are real. His legs are real.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah.
It ain't a gimme
Mm-hmm.
game. It is definitely one we should win, though, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know
Elliot,
I always laugh because it's like these games like this, both sides. If you're listening to Atlanta radio or Atlanta fans, they gonna sound a lot like Steeler fans this week. We gonna be over here like, bruh, they good, but they ain't like that. This one we supposed to have right here. We feeling great. If you Atlanta fans, they over here like, bro, they good, but they ain't like that, man. This what we gotta have this week. So it's gonna be it's gonna be a good one, baby. Colts fans saying the same thing last week. I'm sure who we got after that. The Panthers fans, they gonna be doing it too, but it's all good. We're gonna be lining them up, and checking them off, line them up, run it. Let's go, let's go.
Falcons could very much be 6-6 after last week.
Bro, what? You saw the ending? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
we'll
we'll get
talk
to it
about
though.
them
Yeah,
more.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
I just don't think
Absolutely.
the Falcons are that good. They're skating
Mm-hmm.
by. Elliot, why is nobody giving Mason Cole any love?
Because he
That's not
doesn't
true.
play the
You
set.
did. You gave
Well,
him your MVP
I
award
know.
for offense.
I know. I know. All I was going to say was typically the center position isn't a sexy position. And it's one of those ones where it's not as easy to evaluate. So a lot of times when you're looking on social media, what do you see? Quarterback talk, receiver talk. You'll get some linebacker stuff, but it's usually stuff that is a lot easier to just point to and say, hey, did he catch the ball? Good play. Did he drop it? Bad play. Did he make this throw? Good play. Did he not make this throw? Bad play. When you're talking about the center position, some of the blocks, some of the angles, some of the things that you're asking, pass protection and stuff like that is not always as cut and dry as, hey, this is good, this is not good. So it just, like I said, doesn't get highlighted as much. But no, man, Mason has been, to me, he's been our most consistent lineman across the board. He's just not the most talented guy. And that's the thing that makes it weird because he'll play really good, but because he's not a guy that has elite blow you off the ball ability, we're not going to be able to highlight plays of him just driving a guy 20 yards downfield, right? So you don't get the David DeCastro type highlight. You're not going to see Mason Cole running 20 yards downfield as a lead blocker on a pull play like we would go with Marquise Pouncey. So because he doesn't do either of those like defining characteristics, it's not something that is going to be easily for people to just jump out to them unless you're looking for it. For me, I'm just a nerd when it comes to football, so I watch all these positions. So that's why, like, for me, I do like what Mason Cole's been doing. I think that he's been really consistent, man. And obviously, when we talk about the contrast between him this year and Kendrick Green last year, it's felt number one because we don't even have to talk about the center position, right? Last year was the most that we've ever talked about centers and snapping the ball. It was crazy. It was like every week, like, yo, man, you see Kendrick Green, man, look at this Kendrick Green. Whereas now, we don't even talk the center. We don't. We talk Dan Moore, but we hardly ever speak on the center because of the consistency with the snapping, first off, but also with his ability to run block and pass protect. Like I said, he's just not an elite player in terms of dominating guys, but he is a very good and consistent player, and that's why he's been able to have the success that he's had joining us here, man.
AJ Martinez. Sabotage 7. I will ride or die with our team. For the most part, the team is looking better. Keep them together. Please no blowing this team up. We have a future.
I would agree. And that's the thing, man. If you have patience and you stick through the rough time, man, once you get to that mountaintop, baby, that makes that feeling that much sweeter. And we have a lot of those pieces in place. That's the other part. And that's why it's like you can make tweaks here or there. But I'm with you, AJ. I don't think you have to blow this thing up, man. Sometimes blowing it up will make the reset even worse than, just tweaking a piece here. And that piece could simply be like we've been talking about. Maybe it is just simply adding a corner. Maybe it is simply just adding another veteran presence on offense, whether that's in the receiving room or on the offensive line. Maybe it's as simple as, hey, man, just get a little bit more veteran coordinator in here. Like, we don't know what that exact thing is, but to me, I don't feel like it's something that has to be a large change for this team to continue getting to where we wanted to be, because we're already seeing that growth right now.
100%. I like the core that we're building. Yeah. And that's type of stuff that you're talking about is naturally going to happen every offseason. Yep. No team is ever the same from season to season, just due to free agency, players retiring, people getting cut, trades, all that type of stuff, the draft. But yeah, I like the core that we got. Makes me, again, just shake my head at the people that were talking about trying to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft.
Yeah, but once again, when people aren't comfortable, they panic. When they panic, panicky is panicky, man. You're going to holler at anything. 1 week is I need a quarterback. Next week I need to fire the head coach. Then it's change the ownership. Like, you know how it goes. But when you follow this thing the way that we doing this thing and we seeing it grow the way that we grow, it's like, man, you realize you don't have to get overreactive like that every single time, And that is the beauty, because we watch Kenny. We can see the development. And that's the thing. It's like, man, for the ones that go crazy on him as like a negative, you really have to ask yourself, like, what is the motivation or the intent of that? Because to me, if you're a fan of this team and you're a fan of this game the way that it is, man, it's like, I don't see how you crucify Kenny Pickett right now, man. Like, it's not perfect, but it's not supposed to be. It's a rookie. But to me,
it's just funny to me.
I think it's doing what it's supposed to do, though. But I was saying, to me, I think he's doing what he's supposed to do, though. Yeah.
It's just funny to me because there's so many people from the outside, NFL experts, former players, people that are breaking down Pickett's film, looking at what the Steelers are building, and they are really impressed. How many people are just saying, again, from the outside, these are objective people, don't have anything to do with the Steelers. Actually, some of them, because Joe Thomas the other day is a Browns person, so he would love to see the Steelers fail. He's even talking about, like, man, if I'm a Steeler person, I'm waking up with a smile on my face because I think you guys got something for the future.
It makes sense, man. Like I said, the tape, that's the thing for me. You can get enamored with numbers exclusively, and that's fine. But we said, man, numbers can lie to you at times. Numbers can be misleading at times. But the one constant from my experiences and from the experiences of the guys that I value in terms of their opinions, coaches, GMs, is the tape. They say that's the one thing where it's like, it doesn't matter about your opinion. It doesn't matter about your personal feelings. It doesn't matter about your biasness. The tape isn't going to lie. And when you cut on the tape with Kenny, you see a lot of good things. You see a lot of progress, a lot of steps in the right direction, and it's on the right pace, to me at least. I'm sure other people might think that it's supposed to just be perfect because it was in the first round. And I don't think that's realistic. But, everybody has their own version of expectations. But from my experiences, I do think that Kenny is progressing on the timeline that he's supposed to be right now, man.
The funny thing with the stats part of it that you brought up, because people point to, oh, man, he only has 3 total touchdowns. He hasn't had as many touchdowns as we would have liked over these last 3 weeks. If you think about it, I mean, he should have had the one in the Saints game to Najee that he dropped. 2 drop touchdowns in this Colts game, and then the Pickens one in the Bengals. That's like, 4 or 5 right there that should have been. So if you are just going to simply look at the stats, you aren't getting the feel for what Pickett's actually doing.
Absolutely. But that's why, once again, if they're only hollering numbers, you have to ask yourself, what is their intent? Are you just arguing for the sake of arguing? because some people, they do that, right? They just want to argue for the sake of arguing. And it's like, man, if you want to do that, you can do that over that way. But when you cut the tape on, it's hard to, if you're like, I don't understand how you could watch a game from him and not see progress, especially when you look at this journey the way that we've been following it so intimately since OTAs, training camp, preseason, weeks 1 through where we're at right now. It's like, man, come on. You be lying to yourself to act like we haven't seen legitimate growth, not just through him, but through the whole offense. We talked about Matt Canada. We talked about this offensive line. We talked about this running game. You said it yourself these past 3 weeks what this running game has looked like, right? Statistically as well. It's like, man, you can see the development that when we're watching these games, we don't have to ask ourselves when that Colts game finished, did we have to look at the stats that know we ran the ball well? Nah. We know why we have to, because we know it. We were on schedule. We could feel it. And that's the beauty of this day, man. When it's real, you don't have to do all this looking up and stuff. It's like, nah, you just watch the tape, man. It is not going to lie.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan McPherson, who was the main figure behind Sabotage 7? You're looking at him.
You said you're looking at him?
Yeah.
Did you sabotage him or I sabotaged him? Or he's saying behind the... I was like, yo.
I don't know what he's talking about. I thought he meant who was the one that first reported that it's happening.
Oh, I thought he was saying who was the person behind the sabotage.
The main figure behind Sabotage 7?
Yeah, who sabotaged?
No,
okay, I don't know.
It was just a multitude of people. The organization. It was like like a big invisible hand behind the scene. Organization, Colbert, Tomlin, Canada.
We just say upstairs. Just upstairs. Upstairs did it.
It was just an invisible hand, dude. It was a lot of moving parts.
Hey,
come on, yeah.
Hold on.
But that's the thing, though. Rooney.
Wait a minute, though. Ryan
there was that report that Rooney was the only one, I think, of anyone that had the decision to bring Ben back. He was the one that stuck up for him and said, I want him back.
Time out. Let's be real now. Deke, think about what you just said. If the billionaire owner wants Ben Roethlisberger to be the quarterback.
I'm talking going into 2021.
All I'm saying is if the owner wants him back, he would be back. So if that was the case going into 2021, there's a reason why he was back. If he ain't back this year, the owner ain't send down that call. That's all I'm saying. We're not going to sit here and act like if Mr. Rooney want to make that call, he can make that call. He can make that call right now if he wanted to. We know this. Like we put a lot on Coach Tomlin. We not about to say Coach Tomlin got the trump card over Deke on Mr. Rooney. Now, I'm not about to. I can't do that one. No. If Mr. Rooney,
they were the ones making the sales pitch to Rooney to get him out of here, though.
Hey, fair enough. I guess it worked this year. Mr. Rooney.
That's what I mean. I'm saying in 2021, Rooney wanted Ben back. He was back. Because remember, in 2021, there were all the talk in the offseason. Is Ben going to be forced out? There was the cap hit stuff. Rooney was the one that stuck up for him. This is on good record. Ben did say this. I'm not even making this stuff up.
No, I'm with you. I'm just saying it just seems that he had a change of heart going into this shit. That's it, man. And that's a part of it. Management always wins. This is what I'm getting to, man. Management is undefeated. No player is going to beat management, man. It's just how it goes.
Come on, yeah. Shout out to AJ. All love for 7. Can't let people forget.
Oh, facts. Can't let people forget, man. 7's that dude, man. Absolutely.
Ryan McPherson, we got a rude Jets fan in the chat.
I thought he was about to say we got Rude Jude in the chat. I was like, Lord, man, this ain't Sirius XM. Debbie, wait a minute. But
I haven't seen Little Noriega in here.
That's right, little or big, either one. But no, man.
Oh yeah, I guess his name was actually Big Noriega.
Yes, you know how we do over here. We welcome all parties, man. Whether it's been Baltimore fans, we've had Raiders fans in here, we've had Bengals fans in here, we've had all types of people come in here, man. When they come through, that's cool. Big Noriega is in the building, though. He changed his name to Big Noriega, the Jenny Pickett hater, and he did say, "What's up, Moats and Deke the Freak?" So shout out to you as well, man. I just want to let you know that we're all inclusive over here, man. It don't matter, yeah. But just know we're gonna always side with the Steelers at the end of this thing. But either way, you're welcome. So yeah, man.
Steve Hibbins. I feel like Pittsburgh is the only team left with any patience. I'm really hoping they don't give that up with Kenny. The kid deserves a solid 3 seasons to properly assess.
Yeah, I do feel like the Steelers will have a lot more patience with him because that's how they've operated. 3 seasons, he has to continue to look good, though. Like, I don't think it could be he's looking god awful, or you're really having legitimate questions about ball security, and that's gonna last for a whole nother season. I don't think that could be the case. But if it's like how we're getting right now, yeah, I don't think it's just a 3-season thing. I think you just keep riding that and it keeps developing. But I don't think the Steelers are in any hurry though to move on, because they can see what they already have in place. They can see how close they already are currently, even though we as fans at times might not always feel it. The football people, man, you can see this is not a team that is very far off from all the things that we are clamoring to achieve and get right back to. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that in any time frame of, moving on from Kenny, or not giving him the full chance to just show who he is and give him a chance to really develop into a good quarterback at this level.
Agreed. And I've been saying this on repeat. We could easily have 3 more wins right now. We could be 7-4. Flip the record. Jets,
Absolutely.
Patriots, Miami game.
Absolutely,
those 3
man.
games. We could have easily won. And Tomlin said this, I think, in his recent press conference, that he is continuing to be impressed by Kenny and his development and stuff. And but then he goes on to say that we're not going to grade him on this curve, though, because I do believe what he's doing right now is enough to win. And us as a collective are still talented enough to win. And that's what we're going to try to do. Progress and win at the same time. I think we're capable of that.
Yeah. And remember when we talked yesterday and we were talking about how the difference between like a player's mentality versus like a fan's mentality, like a fan to see his performance yesterday and be like, yo, this was great. This was elite. And we're like, man, as an athlete, it's like, bro, he still can get better here, here, and here. He can still do this and this and this. But at the same time, it's like, nah, we still want to hold you to a certain standard. And I think but that is what Coach Tomlin is referring to when he talks about not grading him on a curve, but at the same time acknowledging that he is good enough right now to help them win. And we're seeing that. But we're still like, yo, he's capable of even more. And that's the exciting part. But that's the tough line that we hold ourselves to as players, because he can be so much better. And that's the thing. It's like, yo, don't settle for what you're seeing now and classify this as great or this is elite. It's like, nah, this isn't. But this is good. But if he's doing this now, that's the promising part, because that's your floor. If this can truly be his floor, it's like, man, now we could potentially be working with something nice. But we can't crown this at this level before we even know if this is the best it's going to be or if this is the worst it's going to be, because it's just still kind of premature. But to me, man, it is good to hear Coach Tomlin, though, giving him the vote of confidence, but at the same time, making sure that he knows that, we still going to keep this thing rolling, man.
Even recently, we had a really tight game against the Bengals, and everyone's talking about the Bengals being in the class with a Bills or one of those top-tier AFC teams. We're right there. So just think what we could potentially be 3-4 weeks from now, or when the season is over, if we keep on having our stock go up like this. AJ Martinez, pulling on the Sabotage 7 theme. I thought that Ben would surpass Bradshaw for titles. What happened? Ben deserved more. 7 carried us a lot. I agree with him, man. After, to put it in context, you got to think, 05, he wins in his second year. I think 08, that was his 4th or 5th year. And then we get back to a Super Bowl in 10. We were in 3 Super Bowls, I think, in his first 6 or 7 seasons, and he won 2. It was like, this isn't going to stop anytime soon. But then just goes to show how hard it is to win in this league and how much turnover there is, because the defense wasn't the same anymore after that 2010. More 2011, because it was still there, but then after that Tebow loss, defense went down the tubes, offensive line kind of had to start getting rebuilt, because Ben was able to carry our shitty offensive line, but it got to a point like, hey, man, he's getting up there. We got to start protecting him. So there were just a lot of moving parts, and we did get to that point in terms of talent, but injuries, fluky stuff in the playoffs. Sometimes you need a little bit of that luck. We got it in Ben's first Super Bowl run with his tackle on Peyton Manning.
It's literally, when you talk about one play here or there changing a lot, it's like, man,
Rashard Mendenhall fumbling, that could have been his 3rd.
That's nuts. But it's like that type of stuff. But that's when we talk about the NFL and we say it's literally that tight. When we say it's a game of inches, literally both of those plays, right? It's an inch here or there, man. If Ben is an inch off and he misses that dude's legs, man, it's a crib. It's to the house. It's over. It changes the whole dynamic. If Mendenhall maybe takes the hit a little bit differently, right? Maybe he has better control of that ball, but that's the type of stuff where it's just like, it's crazy to think that these teams are that evenly matched, that something that minuscule, one way or the other, can have such glaring impacts, though. But that's the game, man. That is the game at this level. And then you think about, like you said, how long it's taken the Steelers to even get back to even flirting with a Super Bowl again. Like, yeah, it's real, man.
But it's across the board. Like, I know Brady's won a lot. Brady went on like a 10 or 11-year drought without winning a Super Bowl.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Rodgers, he only has one, even though Packers, they're always in the mix, always in the playoffs. Drew Brees only has one. Peyton Manning has two.
I was about to say
throughout
Peyton
his whole
Manning,
career,
bro. Like 1, 2. Was he been to 2? I think he been to 2, 1, 2, or
been
to 3.
Went to 4, 1, 2.
What was the fourth one? He went twice in Denver. 1-1, lost one in Denver.
Yeah, he had the Saints one where he threw the pick at the end. He won against the Bears in 2006. Right. And then he lost against the Saints.
You're right. You're right. Tracy Porter. You're right. Absolutely.
The onside kick, the Saints pulled. Yeah.
Right at a halftime. You're absolutely right. I forgot. I was like, yo, what's the other one? That was definitely it. Twice in Andy. Yep.
Yeah, the second one he won is when he was at his worst.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do think they won, not in spite of him, but he was still a reason why they won. Because I don't think they win with Osweiler. They still needed Manning's mind and his ability to control a game. Yeah. But still, it's just funny how things work. He literally won his second. He was always trying to get his second throughout his career. He finally did get his first, because that was some of the talk early in his career. Yeah. Like, man, is he just a choke artist? Brady's already got 3. Is he more of like a team winner than Peyton Manning? Is he ever going to win one? Finally wins one, then he's never able to catch the second until his final year, where he's at his worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had a good team around him, though.
Yeah. Craziness, man. But that's the NFL, man. That is NFL.
Yeah,
Hold on. I think we missed one as well.
Okay.
I think it was Micah.
Oh, Michael Emmanuel.
Yeah,
I got
him. Yeah. All right.
65 in run plays equals beast. 65 in pass protection equals bust. What do we do with that?
Number one, in the interim, you protect him on pass plays. Zach Gentry on pass plays. Pat Frymuth aligned over there on pass plays. You free release whichever running back it is, whether it's Anthony McFarland, Jalen Warren, Benny Snell, Najee, whoever is in on that pass play, you release them that direction, right? Anything to just make that defender, that outside linebacker, that DN have to stop their feet, have to think twice, have to do something other than be solely focused on Dan Moore. That's what you do. And that's what teams around the league do. That's what the Colts did to us at times. That's what the Falcons are going to do to us. That's whenever you either have a struggling tackle or you have an elite pass rusher, you offset that with guys in the area, guys in the C gap. You want just people around him, bodies around him, just messing with his alignment. Tell the tackle, hey, man, open your split up a little bit more. You tell this tight end, man, just be in this area, off ball, on ball. We're going to motion you over there. We're going to post snap have you over there. Like all those different things to just find something to give your tackle, in this case, Dan Moore, that balance, right? Because right now, when you're talking about the NFL level, like the mismatches, it's not as if, man, this guy's a 10 and this guy's a 2. Nah, it's like this guy's a 10 and this guy's like a 6.5, a 7. And you're trying to find that common ground. And how do I balance it out? Sometimes you balance it out with pairing this 6.5 player with another elite player, and now you raise their bar a little bit. Or what you do is, okay, I got this 6.5. Let me bring another guy to help him deal with this 10, because that's the common ground. That's what you're trying to make up that little bit of a difference. So when you're talking about Dan Moore, what do we do with them? That's what I say in the short term to, as we continue to progress through this season. But the long term is this offseason, you bring in competition. Now, that'll be up to Omar Khan, and obviously how the season finishes, we can determine what level of competition it needs to be, whether it's a tackle that is worth, 10, 15 mil, or is it a guy that you're drafting in the first or second round, or is it a guy that you're getting that maybe worth 5 million, maybe worth, 8 million, and we're like, hey, come here and compete. Or it's a guy that we're drafting in the 4th round again or 3rd round, and we're saying, hey, come here and compete with Dan Moore. See if you can unseat him. Maybe that's the conversation, but that's kind of how I would handle it in the short and in the long term as well.
Gorilla mode. I consider first half of the season a wash with the injuries and the quarterback situation. Team already looks very different after the bye week. After only 3 games with all the key players. Plenty to look forward to.
No, absolutely it is, man. And that's why the optimism is high, at least with me. I know Deke always got that out to us. That's why I love you, bro. You be fired up. But for me, man, I'm just optimistic about this squad, man, because all of that is legitimate context. I know for argument or argumentative purposes, people will say, well, now you're seeking comfort. It's like, nah, that's not comfort. Those are legitimate variables. The injuries that this team has sustained, that's legitimate. The quarterback situation, that's legitimate. The coordinator situation, that's been legitimate. All of these things are legitimate. Some self-inflicted, but still very much real influencers in terms of how this season has played out. And now that some of that stuff is calmed down, right? Coaching staff is calmed down, getting back healthy. Quarterback situation, no longer, hey, looking over your shoulder, are we going to switch you back? Like, what we're going to do here? It's just a more settled time frame that we're in right now, and we're seeing the results on the field because of that as well.
For sure. Richard Hunt, don't let the Steelers win the next 2 games.
We in that thing, baby. Hey, they don't want to see it, Richard. You know they don't want to see it, Richard. They scared, Richard. They ain't ready for that, Richard. But just know when you own them now. Just know. You know how it is. Deke, in about 2 weeks, you'll be giving another one of your PSAs. Hey, now, all y'all
bandwagon
fans,
was closed.
The bandwagon was closed
in week 7.
When we was 3-7 and y'all was hollering about tanking and all this other stuff, we said bank closed. We said no more bandwagon game. Now y'all want to come up here. Now because we winning games, now y'all want to come and holler at us. Nah, Poppy, not today. But no, man, I'll be looking forward to yours. Deke, you know I'm be over here like welcome with open arms. Hey guys, it's all right. Come back to the family. We can forgive. We got grace.
Sunday Night Football is going to want to flex us in one of those Ravens-Browns games at the end of the season.
He could be like, no,
trust
don't
me,
flex us.
I haven't forgot about it.
He could be like, no, don't flex us. And I'll be over here like, we are grateful for your opportunity to come back around us now that we've got our act together. You know, we can't be upset with you for us tripping. Nah. But we ain't tripping no more. So now that y'all ain't tripping, we ain't tripping. We all in one accord. That's something to be, man. But that's the duality of us. That's the beauty of it, baby. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, bandwagon closed for the fake fans. National media, do not start talking about us. And Sunday Night Football, do not flex us into prime time.
Deke said, I better not see us on anybody's power ranking. I don't want to see us on not another power ranking. You better not put us on the playoff hunt in the watch. Don't even include us on your little stink graphic. How about that?
See, I like being in the hunt on those wild card watches. I do like that, even though I think
they
included us at 3. I think they included us at 3-7 on the one.
Yeah,
I don't know which station it was, but I saw it.
They shut
us. We were at the very bottom of all the 3 and 7
man, I barely saw.
I always like saying that. I'm like, see, we're still in it. We're still in it.
No, we don't want none of that. We just gonna be flying in our own lane, doing our own thing, man. Let's get it.
828 style. Glad to be able to watch again. Shipped out the last 100 hashtag my cleats out. Remember, to 2 teams. He was doing the customs.
Yeah, he was doing the customs. Absolutely, man.
Hey, Moats just sent your boy Christian Benford of the Bills his 2.
Yo, let's go. Nah, I salute you, man. And I'm definitely looking forward to see your work too, man. Now that I know that Christian gonna have a pair, I'll definitely be tapped in to see that. But no, man, 100 of them things, man, that's major right there, man. Salute you big time 828 style, man. And as always, we appreciate you tapping in with us. And Black and Yellow Texas still, we always live, baby. Welcome. You know, that's the homie. Got to shout him out. Let's get it.
Baron Bradford, Colt may have to play guard next year to push Dotson. There's offensive tackle and center I'm excited to discuss with y'all. JJ going to have another chance to play with his bros, and TB may lose some very good cornerbacks. Maybe we talk about this after a few playoff wins.
Ooh. You speak.
There's a lot in what he just said right there. I do think the JJ Watt to Steeler thing could happen this offseason. I think the timing will actually be right this time.
I have a question on Deke. When he chose to go to Arizona, I remember you saying he chose money over family.
He definitely did.
And we don't ever want him. He don't need to come back here. The door's closed.
Not in his contract. No. Because there were talks about us trading for him. I don't want him at that contract.
I was just wondering. I thought the door was closed. So this is like a revolving door then. It's not like a lock. It's not like a I can't get in.
Yeah, now we don't have to deal with that cap hit anymore.
So now
think about where he's at in his career. He's 2 years removed from that now. He is probably viewed more as a third guy, We got Highsmith elevating a little bit. TJ's
Okay.
already here. They talked
Okay.
about wanting to play with the brothers, the Watt brothers. Hey, Derek Watt, he's even shown me some stuff. Bring him back too. Why
Okay.
not?
Okay.
I
Okay.
think JJ Watt could be that perfect third guy we're looking for
Okay.
on a cheap
Okay.
contract too, because
What,
it's the
what's a
TJ
cheap?
discount.
What is a cheap contract for JJ Watt? We thought JJ Watt was signed a cheap contract and then he signed for 20 mil, or was it
This is
18?
2 years removed. This is 2 years removed, though. I think it was 15. I think it was in the 15.
Oh, all right. It was in the teens. It was definitely in the teens.
It definitely was in the
It
teens.
was in the
You're
teens,
right.
bro. Yeah, and we were looking at that like, at this stage, you're doing that? No. Yeah, I mean.
I was right on my Deontay call. Let me throw it out there.
I got a question for you then.
5 mil.
I got a question then. If you could pick between one or the other, you rather have JJ Watt next year or Larry Ogunjobi?
Ogunjobi.
Okay. Just checking.
JJ Watt would be a luxury edge rusher. He'd be a luxury piece to the defense. Ogunjobi would be a solid starter. We already have Highsmith and TJ. I'm talking about our third rusher.
I was just checking, man. I didn't know. I didn't know where you were putting him into what level and all that other stuff. Okay.
Dude, but think, this is how many stud edge rushers career paths whenever they start hitting their 30s, of where they go to teams and then they just become a piece where they'll play 30% of the snaps, but they're like that third guy, third edge rusher, and they'll come in on passing downs and just get after the quarterback. I think that could be a perfect fit for both parties.
Sure, on paper, I just don't think it's as simple as that. I think, like, when you talk health concerns, he has a crazy injury history. I also think, okay, you're going to be bringing him in to play exclusively as a nickel edge rusher, right? Because we talk about our base 3-4, you would have to stand up. He would probably bump in to play 5 technique, which is why I asked about the Larry Ogunjobi part, because I'm like, he would be doing a little bit more of that and more of like the louder milk stuff than he would necessarily doing like the stand-up outside linebacker in our defense. So
like Malik Reed.
Right. So it's like, do we bring him in to just exclusively play 4-3 DN when we go to nickel package? Or are you going to have him playing a bigger role where it's, you're out there on first and second down as a 5 technique, like what Tuitt has done, talked about Larry Ogunjobi and company, Chris Wormley. But then when we go to our small ball, now we putting you out there as that third guy to sub with TJ and Highsmith. That's all. I was just trying to see what that did. I just think it's a little bit more, I think it's more moving pieces with that than just, bring him as the third rusher, But,
okay.
I mean, JJ, we know who JJ is in terms
just
of
as a guy to have
them,
though. Even with you saying that, it could just be a versatile piece then. Are you viewing him still as a starter? Is that what it is?
No, that's the thing though. Like, I don't know if he's not viewing himself as a starter though. So if he thinks of himself as a starter, what you're trying to talk, I'm like, how is this any different than the Melvin Ingram situation? We brought in Melvin as the third rusher, as that guy smaller term contract, and it's like, hey, this is the situation here. And we saw what that looked like, and I'm like, Melvin was nowhere even close to like JJ's star level, and how he's been able to be a starter for everywhere that he's played at. I don't know, man. That's just a lot. And we're talking about at least 10 mil less to come into 8-man play 5-2 because your brothers. I don't know. It seems like a lot. But I'm hoping I could be wrong, though, man. I could be.
The timing's better this time around. I think it makes even way more sense because at that point, TJ was still TJ Watt, but he wasn't Depoy TJ just yet.
Okay.
TJ is in the prime of his career. He is established as the best edge rusher in the league, whereas then he was still trying to get out of his brother's shadow a little bit more.
Is he out of his brother's shadow?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right now, I don't know in terms of all-time status. No, I mean,
this season,
JJ still has way more hardware. That's what I was
saying. Yeah, that's what I was like, all time. I don't think he's out of the shadow, but this season, we know who TJ is. TJ
after last year, I don't think it's any debate.
I'm with you.
Like,
TJ
he has emerged as the better of the Watt brothers. I mean, I think he was the better of the Watt brothers at the time too.
Yeah,
but it's still the lingering JJ Watt where he had the hardware. Oh, could he actually still get back to that point?
Yeah.
I'm talking about JJ even after the injury.
Because
I just think it's a way better time.
And that's the thing. Even JJ in Arizona, at times he did flash, or he does flash, right? We're like, okay, this looks like vintage JJ. But then the other times it's like, all right, this isn't vintage JJ, but that is that fine line where you're talking about superstars as they start to age. When is it, all right, you're pulling the plug on this guy too soon versus, all right, man, you let this dude stay in that starlight a little bit too long. Maybe he needs to go back to being a little bit, like you said, that third rusher, right? More rotational role. So that's all, man. I just, I don't know him personally, so I don't know his energy towards that type of scenario. But after the Melvin Ingram situation, it just seems like we're going to be in that path. Yeah.
This one's a little off the beaten path, too. He doesn't mention this in particular, but he brings up Tampa Bay losing cornerbacks. You hear who else Tampa Bay might be losing? Obviously, Brady's a free agent.
All right.
But now there's talks about could he actually return to New England?
Dang, they turned the corner on Mac Jones. I thought Mac was the guy. Mac ain't the guy.
There's just some rumors. There's rumors and speculation being thrown out there.
I
don't know if Brady and Belichick are on that good of a terms, though, to where it would just be like a snap of a finger. Oh, yeah, let's run it back.
But the only people that make them on bad terms are who? When have we heard Brady and Belichick talk about, man, we don't like each other. We got beef. We not going to ever be friends. Like, nah, they still like, man, it's a working relationship, but you don't win to that level if you don't have the basis of, we trust each other. We respect each other. We got a certain level of just respect and love that comes from being around each other that long, man, and going through some of that adversity they went through, man. I don't think if they really wanted to do it, I think they could. But if you New England, I thought you were rolling with Mac, man. What does that send? What's the message you send to Mac Jones, man, if you bring Brady back?
Oh, you're trading Mac.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what we doing? So Brady is there for how long? Because if he's
divorced now, dude. I think
man,
he might go on another 2 or 3 year run.
Oh my gosh! All right, it sounds good. I like the theory of it. I like the origin villain story. It sounds great.
I don't want it to happen.
I just wonder, is it
That's
possible?
The last thing we as Steelers fans want to happen. I don't want a Brady Belichick reunion.
But see, I don't think a Brady Belichick reunion, if it's going to be happening at this stage, is as bad as it might seem. But yeah, I just don't see why New England, I don't know. Does New England feel like they're a quarterback away? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're just hey man, if you get Brady in here, man, everything changes. I don't think that's the case.
I think it would help. Their defense has been pretty good this year. They still need weapons. That's why Brady left in the first place.
But that's what I'm saying. So has that changed?
No. I don't know what the deal is with some of those receiver contracts they gave out, if any of them are coming up this year. And you know how it is, too. Yeah. Some of these dudes, like a Julio Jones, with him signing in Tampa Bay on the cheap, he would I wouldn't be surprised if someone like him went up to New England. Not specifically Julio, but a player of that caliber. You know what I mean? Just to play with Tom Brady and the Patriots and whatnot. Yeah, I don't want it to happen. My money's, if I had to bet, I'd say the 49ers are the front runners.
Ooh, so you think
maybe you throw New England in like the top 3? Maybe not Miami anymore. I was going to say Miami, but no, they're going to stick with Tua.
But once again, if you're San Fran, why would you go Brady when you said you were going to go Trey Lance? Remember, that was why you moved on from Jimmy G for Trey Lance. So it's the best you sending out. Oh,
or you have him wait in the wings. I don't know. You get a chance to have Tom Brady. I think you just do that if you're the 49ers.
At this stage?
I think he's still good. I think you're talking to the wrong person. I still think he's pretty good.
That's right. I forgot. You still said Ben should be the starting quarterback for the Steelers, right?
I agree, but wait, what's wrong with what Brady's doing? I don't think he has a lot of help down there in Tampa. It's kind of ugly down there. He's doing fine.
But we're talking about these are organizations that have drafted their quote-unquote heir apparent, their franchise quarterback. The reason why we talk about Kenny Pickett, and you're like, hey, man, we don't need to bring another guy because, why? We brought in Kenny. Well, I'm sure Niners fans, or at least that's what they said about Trey Lance. That was the guy. Stop it. Nope. The only reason you changed your tone now because he got hurt. You seen Jimmy G out there winning games. That's the only reason. When they moved up from Jimmy G, well, nobody tripping. Everybody was like, yeah, that makes sense. And we was over here like, nah, man, Jimmy G is a good quarterback. He's a winner. Now you're seeing it. Now it's like, oh man, you could just trade that dude, Trey Lance. Nah, man, they would not feeling like that, man. So I don't think they would feel like that right now.
Here's what I'll say about the 49ers, and here's what I think I did say when all this stuff happened. They went to Trey Lance because you want to see what you got upside-wise. Okay. Now, was that the right decision for this season and winning games? I didn't necessarily agree because whenever Trey Lance went down, whenever Jimmy G came in, I was like, I think they're going to win more games with Jimmy G. Now, is that right or wrong?
It's right. You're right. It is right with the capital R. Yeah.
Maybe they just should have stuck with Jimmy G the whole time then. But I do think there is the cap still a little bit with Jimmy G.
Okay. No, and that is true. That is definitely true. But once again, if that was your mindset with Trey Lance to Jimmy G, Brady at 45, that's all I'm saying. It's like, man, we doing that
I think
again?
he's an upgrade over Jimmy G. Yeah, I think he's an upgrade
Okay.
over Jimmy G for sure.
Would he be an upgrade
I don't
over
know
Kenny Pickett? If he's an upgrade over Jimmy G, if he's an upgrade over Jimmy G, is he an upgrade over Kenny Pickett? Come on, Deke. We talking, baby. You tell me. Am I talking to the right guy?
We got it. We're not making any decisions right now. Let's see how the season plays out. Let's see how the season plays out. All right. Ask me again, if you can remember.
All right. Fair enough. Now,
Your point is sound. Your point is sound. If you for me, if I still think Brady's a top 5 quarterback, if I still think Brady's a top 5 quarterback, then he would be an upgrade over the quarterbacks for like 2017 to 2018 teams.
Yeah, that's if we feel like he's on that level. That's the question.
But I'm with you. All right, so here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. Hear me out.
I'm here.
I don't think Trey Lance has proved what Kenny Pickett has thus far in his career. But, and the 49ers won't have Jimmy G on their roster anymore either.
Okay.
So they're out of a quarterback. You get what I mean? So even if you brought up, say, the Jaguars, I think Brady's better than Trevor Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence they drafted first overall a couple years ago. Like that,
they took
15, 20-year future
5.
there.
They took Trey Lance top 5.
I mean, that might have been a mistake, though.
5.
That might have been a mistake, though.
But he was top 5. Like, you see,
what the 49ers do with that, that's their call. I feel like that's a mistake. Really do.
Like, I'm with you. They've messed that situation.
I had Justin Fields as my number 2 quarterback on those rankings.
Yeah, that situation over there is kind of crazy right now, man. That situation is definitely crazy right now. Yeah, but that'd be interesting though, man. And now, shout out to Farron Bradford though, man. That was a lot to unpack right there, man. But that was a good convo though, man. The JJ Watt off of that, yeah, and then the spin it block to the TB12.
He didn't bring it up, but I took some creative leniencies with his comment.
I like when you
I don't know if you wanted to talk about it or not, but I saw it today and I couldn't help myself.
You know me, Deke. I love when you let your creative flow. You know what I mean? Just say, hey, be you. I'm gonna ride with you. Come on, man. I'm gonna point guard this thing, baby.
Mike Hood, peace to all. Glad to see Deke back on. Let's go.
Facts, man. Like I said, it does not feel the same, man, when you're not there, man. When you're not in the... First off, it doesn't feel the same when you're not next to me. I'm still weirded out looking at your chair. I'm like, bro, Deke, I used to could just like, I could bump you, brush you, like, dang, you're so far away right now, man. Yeah.
Give me a high five.
Yeah, all that, man. Just stop it. No more high fives. We don't do that anymore, all right? But yeah, man, but all is right in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in the saddle, Lord willing, tomorrow, man, like how we supposed to be.
828 style. I think KP8 haters really don't know who he is because of where he played. Clemson dominated the ACC during his time at Pitt, and he wasn't on TV nationally much of it at all. So they don't know the game he got.
I would also say this, 828 style, to piggyback on that. When you think of the national perception of Pitt football during his time frame, it was always pictures of half-empty seats, but a lot of them pictures at times were in warm-up, so it would be a little bit more exaggerated. So you never really looked at it as they're supposed to be good. And then when you think college football, you think Penn State, you hear Ohio State, and I just think all of that also played into, why people look at Kenny Pickett, and when you hear the praise from him, it's like, nah, he went to Pitt. It can't be like that. It ain't like he went here, did that and that. I also think that piggybacks on it as well, man.
All right, next one we got Carla and the Fat Cats just giving us some support.
Shout out to Carla and them Fat Cats, and that's PHAT for those that don't know. My audio only crowd. Yeah, shout out to them.
Gorilla mode. Pickett has shown he can build with a team in college. Mm-hmm. Every 7 or so years, it seems Pitt gets a dominant player who has success in the league. We do have some really good pros getting churned out of Pitt.
No, absolutely, man. A couple dudes up in Buffalo, man. I'm loving it, man. Loving it.
Mike Hood, Moats, don't misinterpret. I like where we are with Kenny, what happened with Mason? Question mark. He had the same line that Ben had last 3 years, and hate Mason.
Mason. No, put it like this, man. Mason is still a very capable quarterback. Mason is one of them dudes where you talk opportunities and timing. Opportunities and timing are the difference in everything. If he's drafted and this is his first year here and he doesn't have any negative plays on his tape or in our memory, I think it's a different perception when you're watching him. I think it's a different reception also when he does things well. Whereas we saw him deliver one of the best throws of the preseason, right? The throw in the back of the end zone to George Pickens. And people still didn't even want to acknowledge that it was a throw from Mason. They wanted to just solely highlight Pickens because they had already had their mind made up. But they had their mind made up was that 2018? No, was that 2019 season? When we had the whole Duck and Mason situation and we saw how that played out. And obviously Mason, had the rough Thursday night game, then the Myles Garrett situation, then Duck did what he was able to do. So it was like that whole perfect dynamic. Then when you see him come back again against Detroit, we talked about it. Or no, even the Jets game. We're like, man, he played well in the Jets game. Came back at the end of the season against the Browns, played well against them. Won the game. We lost in the wild card round. People still didn't acknowledge that. Then you had the Lions game a year ago. The monsoon, he finds out night before that he's going to get the start. He plays well enough to win. But what do people focus on? The missed throw that he had to Ray McCloud. Not the back-to-back drives that he had in the fourth inning overtime that would have put us in position to win, that were fumbled away by other players than him. But because they already had their mind made up about him, it's a lot of him having to overcome that. And it's just tough to do at times. So that's what we talk about, opportunities and timing. For him, I do think the fresh scenery wherever he goes will be a lot better for him. But it's also going to be what opportunities he walking into. Is he going into a scenario where it's an open competition at quarterback, or do they have a young guy that they love? Is it a veteran that they already have there, like how Matt Ryan is in Indianapolis? And you're going to back him up, but you got a chance to potentially see what the end of the year might look like, and you get a chance to take over the offense. Is it a spread offense? Is it pro style? Like, where are you going? Are you going to McVay where he's going to be able to scheme up and get the best out of you? Or are you going somewhere where it's more of a defensive mindset, right? We talk about here in Pittsburgh, we know this is defense first when we talk. Juju even, reiterated that when he talked about the difference between Andy Reid and playing for Andy Reid and playing for Coach Tomlin. And that's, what Mason kind of fell victim to, so to speak, man. But that's the NFL. He gets highlighted because he's a quarterback, but there are countless others at every other position that go through what he's dealing with daily. It's just because they don't play quarterback, it's not highlighted that much, man. But that's the situation when I think of like Mason. Yeah.
He'll definitely get an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll probably be as a backup, though. Just figuring that we're going to have a new quarterback class coming out in the draft. And we got a bunch of young dudes around the league right now. It's probably going to be a backup. I don't know if there's going to be some type of pseudo competition, but yeah, I wish him the best of luck. It's definitely going to be with another team. There's no way he's coming back.
But if you're Mason, I can see you saying, okay, Seattle, I'm interested in you guys. Geno's playing well this season, but historically, I don't think that he's above reproach. I don't think that I can't get him if I'm Mason Rudolph, right? Think another team, Denver.
I was going to say the Lions, too.
The Lions.
I thought you were going to say Detroit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's multiple squads where it's like, man, there are some situations that you could potentially go there. You might not be the day one starter, but it could definitely turn into a scenario where you're getting a legitimate opportunity. And if you're Mason, that's what you got to decipher through with your agent, with your family, and really lock in, because you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get. But if you can hit right here, man, that could be the difference between you being a, oh my gosh, what's the dude's name? Backing up Mahomes. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Chase Daniels.
Chad Henne.
No, not Chad Henne. Chad Henne too, but even like a Chase Daniels type, right? Dudes that have been in this league for a while, and it's like, man, how do they last like that? They're good enough, but they're not starter material. But they're going to play 10 years in this league, man, as a backup. Or you're the guy that, unfortunately, you're Landry Jones. You end up getting 5 or 6 in this thing, but when the opportunities kept coming, you never could capitalize on it, and they moved on from you. Like, it can happen either way, but that's why for Mason, this next stop is going to be critical for him, man.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to come off like I'm ripping on him or anything, but I actually do think he would be a perfect backup quarterback for a team for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I think he'd be that perfect guy. Like, even right now for the Steelers, I would love to have him back as a backup, actually. I just don't think he would want that. It's probably better for both sides to
Yeah.
move on. Just with how everything played out in his career, where we drafted him
Well, because it's a
third
lot of
round.
personal
Was he
feelings.
potentially going to be the heir apparent? But then
It's
we
a
draft Pickett a couple
yeah.
years later. So yeah, I don't see him coming back here.
It's hard to undo the personal feelings
For
when
sure.
you start feeling like it's gotten personal, and even if it's not personal, as players, you're gonna feel like that because it's the same person giving you that negative. It's the same coach telling you we're going with this guy. It's the same GM telling you we're going with somebody different. It's the same owner telling you you're going with somebody different. So eventually you start to say, okay, it's not a Ben thing. This is a you don't like me thing. And that could be how it plays out, you know. But, you know, like I said, man, you play this game long enough, man, you live and you learn. I'm hoping for him, man, that it does work out for him somewhere else. I'm a guy that I had to go somewhere else for me to really, you know, continue on and develop to where I was at. You know, I would have loved for it to stay, you know, one spot, but that's not everybody's journey. Not everybody gets that 18 years in the same spot, man. You know, if you can, great. But for a lot of dudes, man, you do have to be loud on your feet, so to speak, man, and get ready to move. So for Mason, if that is the path that he ends up having to take, man, I hope it's successful for him, man, because I want all of us to eat.
828 style. Peyton won his second because Pam Newton made a business decision on that fumble. He watched Denver recover. Moats, I'm feeling the salmon, bro. Straight fire.
Oh, no, greatly appreciate you.
He also won that second because he screwed the Steelers over in the AFC divisional game by sliding and hoodwinked the refs to not throw a flag. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he paid the refs off later. Could he blackmail the refs? Did he have some information on them? I don't know.
Deke, till this day, I have never seen that happen. And the referees act the way that they did afterwards. I've still never seen
Maybe he
that,
paid
man.
Fitzgerald Tucson too to fumble it. I don't know.
Chill, man. No, don't do that to my dog, Fitz. You don't do that to my dog, man. But you also left out the fact that Cam Newton, MVP Cam Newton, that was a different version right there. That was crazy Cam right there. But don't act like Von Miller didn't exist and DeMarcus Ware. That was also a very, very large reason why they won that game, man. Because them two dudes was on a whole nother level, man. I was pissed.
What's so frustrating to me?
What's
so frustrating to me is Ben lit up that defense.
I know, bro. That's our thing.
Two times for over 300, and the second time he didn't
bro.
even have AB out there.
All right, no AB, no L Bell.
Oh, man, he had the AC joint sprain in his right arm. His throwing arm. On the road.
Bro. Hot, bro. But no, man. In 828 Styles, though, shout out to you, though, peeping the salmon on me. You know, my middle girl, Ava, she wanted to twin this day, you know, and she put on the whole pink drip. So I was like, all right, let me find me something pink real quick for the culture. So yeah, man. But salute you, though, man. Appreciate it.
Ryan McPherson, SMH. Get little Noriega out of here. This troll called me Ryan McPuss.
What? McPuss? Hey, bro, y'all funny. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all all gotta chill. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I guess Big Noriega's back and at it.
Hey, he said, man, I'm gonna fight back. That's what he said, man. If you can survive the chat, man, you can survive anything. That's all I'm gonna say, because we know how our chat get.
828 Style says, we don't need JJ. We forgetting about Liao. Washed.
I ain't forgetting about him. I'm with you. I think we got.
When's he back?
Well, actually, he technically could come back this year. Excuse me on that, but definitely.
I thought he was. I thought he was going to be only out for 4 games.
Yeah, so I don't know yet. Yeah, and what? Because we'll get to the injury report too, man. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with DeMarvin, man. In terms of his return, but yeah, we definitely still have him. So the thing, though, but going back to the JJ conversation, the big thing to me is going to be determined by Larry Ogunjobi. If we're bringing him back, I don't see how he's back and you're bringing in JJ with him, unless Wormley or Cam isn't going to be here, because, like you said, DeMarvin is going to have an even bigger role. Loudermilk is going to continue to have, you know, a certain level of role. So, just like, man, we got a lot of miles in there, man. A lot of 5 techniques. Yeah.
828 Style. Forget JJ. I'd like to see Tuitt come back. Ooh. Hey, Deke, you look younger, bro. Are you using oil or Olay? LOL. JK. Moats, who painted your Devin Bush pick? LOL, nah, JK. He's
Shout out
flaming
to
us.
A2A. He getting on this, man. He getting on this. Nah, man. You know the homie Cody though. Cody Sable, man. He the one who hit my painted me up nicely in the back, man. Shout out to Wifey as well for that gift. I can't remember what, man. That was like 2017 time frame. Yeah, but nah, salute him though, man. But no, man, Tua would have been fire, Mo. It would have been fire. I don't even know what's going on with him though, in the sense of, has he said anything about coming back? I ain't seen anything, do you?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about football or anything like that. So yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah, he's done.
Yeah. Like I said, that's just a lot, man. That craziness, man. Crazy.
And I'll take his comment as a compliment too. I appreciate that. You know what it is though? I just shave, and literally, I think I lose 10 years every time I shave my beard.
You look so little in the face, man, when you start shaving it down, bro. No.
Black and yellow Texas Steel. I wanted Big Ken to take us to the playoffs. SMH. It's still on the table.
It's very much on the table. Don't lose hope just yet, baby. We still rolling. Yes, indeed.
Next one. Sean McCartney. He's back too. He says Little Noriega smoking that little man syndrome pack.
Oh. Threatening
to KO people at the game. Horrible image for Steeler Nation. Have some more class.
Yeah, man. We don't need to. We definitely don't condone violence. We don't want to do that. But no, funny thing, man. I saw in the chat where Big Noriega, he actually says that he's been a fan of the Steelers for I think 31 years. I think that's what he had said, man, when I was looking over there. So yeah, that's a long time. I don't know how accurate that is, but that is what he said at least, though. So yeah. But no violence by anybody.
We don't like violence. Our show has become like a third-party app for people setting up fights here.
It's definitely it, bro. One of these days, we're going to have a celebrity podcast card. We're going to do that. All right? I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it. Like we said, it's a Moats and Deke production, or a Deke and Moats production, however we want to word it. But either way, we're going to have that. Yeah.
Steeler Nation on fire. Mason hurt the Steelers too many times. That's why he gets hate as a Mason. I'm a Mason hater. I agree that Mason will always find a way to mess things up.
But think about how that narrative started. And it's like, how many are we going to really point to and say this was on Mason? I think of the Thursday night game against Cleveland. That was definitely on him, sure. Right?
Bengals game where he got benched.
And I think of the Bengals game, right? But we were still winning during that time frame. That's the other part of this thing. I'm like, I don't remember a lot of, man, Mason has got us killed out here. In fact, I remember Mason having some moments. And then it was Earl Thomas. I remember that. And I remember he kind of changed after that. Yeah, he got a little real, man. But then you talk about the Jets. You talk about the Jets game at the end of that season. The Jets game at the end of that season, he came right back delivering strike down the middle of the field. Talked about him that following year against the Browns at the end of the season, week 17, what he did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think what happened is when Mason came in 2019, and it was kind of after that Ravens game. There could be a whole conspiracy there of like, did that concussion change him or not? But he went on a stretch of like a good 4 or 5 games. And some of them we were winning because the defense was absolute lights out. But it felt like he was not taking any chances down the field. There were just so many checkdowns.
Yep.
Which I guess you're right. It wasn't killing us, but we were getting overly frustrated with it. And then it just culminated with the 4 picks in the Browns game. Right. It's like, bro, okay, if you're going to be checking it down and throw picks like that and take us out of games. And then we get to the Bengals game and he was just awful in that first half.
Yeah. That's
why I think people were just fed up. It's like, get this duck dude in here. And then he throws that one deep down the field to James Washington and people are going crazy. And then, Duck rattled off 3 games in a row there. He was 3-0 until the Bills game. And that's when he threw us out of that game. And we took Duck out of the Jets game, Mason back in. Mason looks like a different person. That year
then he gets hurt. But then he gets hurt. So it was like, man,
I'm getting PTSD right now thinking about it.
Right, but once again, that was still his first opportunity, right? It's just craziness, but I'm just like, man, like that 4 or 5 game, we're still holding him accountable for that 3 years later. Like, it's just, that's why I say for him a fresh scenery, man, because he won't have to deal with that type of stuff. That's like, man, you fighting a ghost right there that isn't even as bad as what people have made it to be. But because of who Mason is here, that ghost is going to get bigger and bigger every time we talk about it. Every time it's something positive for him. Oh, man, he killed us all them other years. Like, you remember all that terrible performance? It's like, bro, where are these terrible performances that we speaking of? Outside of the 2 games we just broke down. But
I think he could have been better in the Lions game, for sure, in regulation. But as we've talked about, he did perform in overtime.
And in the weather conditions that were out there, and short notice. That's the other concept that it's like, yo, we don't even acknowledge any of that. It's like, man, this is crazy. And he still played well enough for them to win. He was leading them to win. He was leading them to win.
Deontay and Brown with fumbles.
Okay.
And Kendrick Green snap over his head.
How are those on him? That's all I'm saying.
They weren't. Not in overtime.
But people bring up that game as if to say that's on him. How are those moments specifically on him? The Ray McCloud missing the end zone, yes. But those are 2 separate moments. Not even talking about the Kendrick Green snap, but those 2 are like, man, he's doing all of those things as well. But like I said, man, when you're fighting them ghosts, man, that's a losing battle.
Huge what if would have been if he never got hurt in that Jets game.
Oh.
Huge what if. Because we win that Jets game.
And remember, he slung it like his first throw in there. It was like the first couple of throws he had. Yeah.
He tied it up. We were 10-10. Mm-hmm. I think we would have definitely won if he was in the second half. But if we win that game, I think I'm almost like 100% sure we're in the playoffs because we needed that win of any of those like last 3. We needed that Jets win for sure.
Yeah.
And, maybe we do win the Baltimore one with him. And if somehow we make the playoffs with how that defense was playing in 2019, that would be a huge what if.
Yeah.
Huge what if.
That would have changed.
8-2-8 style.
Yeah, that would have been a lot, too, when you talk about the Ben injury time frame, contract time frame, that frame. Like, it was a lot of moving. I don't know. Deke, I don't know if we wanted that, though, bro. That could have been a little too much for us at that time. We didn't need all that. It worked out well. It kept it simple.
8-2-8 style. Mason's best chance to be a starter is in Houston. Yeah, he brings up a good point here. Okay. He's not a starter anywhere else. Although I do think Houston's probably just going to take Bryce Young or Stroud. Probably. He's a good backup QB. He's not a third string or QB4 for sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's not a third string QB for sure. For sure. He's not talking about 4th string quarterbacks, but I'm with you. I think he's a really good backup.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's multiple ways to have careers and be successful in the NFL. Not everybody is going to be the $100 million or, in the quarterback case, the $250 million player. Like, sometimes you are the backup. Sometimes you are the role player, and that's fine. But if you are capable of being elite, go be elite. And I think for Mason, man, I think for him, he just at least deserves an opportunity to fully explore that. I don't think that he's really gotten that opportunity to the level where you can truly say yes or no on it. But in Pittsburgh, it's just hard for him to overcome what has already been put out there.
Yeah. 8-2-8 style. Did y'all see T.O. knock a dude out in front of CVS? LOL.
Bro.
I did not.
I saw the vid. I didn't to see how valid it was or not, because it's like a cell phone vid across the street. But it's definitely a tall, bald-head dude that's jacked and he looks like T.O. I can't confirm it's T.O., but he's bald-headed, he's jacked, he looks just like T.O. I'm like, bro, is that T.O.? But he definitely he fighting behind that jab. I like his energy, man. I don't know all the details behind it, and you know me, I don't condone violence. I'm one of those guys that, hey, say no to violence because you just never know, man. I think, a lot darker. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm glad that T.O. won that fight, but I would have hate for T.O. to win that fight and that dude that lost the fight say, hey, now I'm going to win, So that's thing with it, but yeah, T.O. definitely won though. He definitely won the fight.
He won the battle. I'll win the war.
Yeah, that's Deke. We've had conversations. That's why I think I'm just like, I'm good on the day, man. Keep your hands to yourself. You just don't know how people gonna react, man. You just never know.
Berg City 6-time champions says blessing.
But hold on. But other thing though, Deke, going back to that, the little dude got hard though because he was probably about an inch or two shorter than T.O. I don't know why he wanted to be aggressive like that, too. That was the other part. Like, yeah, I don't think T.O. was in the wrong. T.O. looked like he was doing everything justified. Like, he was good. But it's just like, bro, the little dude was really, stepping to tell him, like, bro, that's a big man over there you running up on, baby. You better know what you're doing. Yeah. But keep your hands to yourself.
So it was a close fight?
No, it was not a close fight. No. The fight lasted long because T.O. was patient. T.O. looked like he knew what he was doing. Hands up, keeping his distance. putting that jab out there, touch him, let me see where you at, and then after that, I'm gonna give you the ha yaka, and yeah, it was.
I need to watch the video.
The only reason why it's lasting that long is because T.O. was like, all right, now you sure? All right, I can touch you, okay? And then it went to where it went to. So yeah, but it was not like T.O. got a white shirt on. He don't even. Yeah, it's nothing even on his shirt. I don't think he gets touched. So yeah, okay. But like I said, man, keep your hands to yourself. Yeah, everybody keep your hands to yourself.
Berg City says, blessings, fellas. Fastest game ever Monday. Going to ATL and Raiders game looking for wins. Let's go. December ball.
Hey, when you start running that rock like that, them games get real fast. Yes, indeed, man. But
it was a fast game.
Yeah. But yeah, man, those are gonna be some fun ones that you're going to. Atlanta on the road, that's gonna be insane. That's gonna be like a home game on the road, man. So definitely enjoy yourself down there. And then when you come up here for the Raiders game, bro, that's the Immaculate Reception game. December 24th, Christmas Eve joint. Come on, baby. That's going to be a movie, man. You definitely don't want to miss that, man. So, yeah, shout out to you, Berg City 6-time champions. Mm-hmm.
Last super chat for now. Richard Hunt. How about Matthew Wright? Solid since Deke jinxed him.
This is true because Deke stopped jinxing him. That's why. So, Deke, don't ever talk positive about Matt anymore. We're just going to leave it as we've been going, man. He hit for 52 yards, man. That was dope, baby. That was dope.
I'm going to stick with my original story. I think he's a good kicker. That's all.
All right. That was reserved right there. That was good version. See, he was good. All right. We can live with that. That works. That works.
Good kicker.
All right. So, let's tap into this injury report real quick because I know that is out. And then from there, we'll do our likes and don't likes for today. Sound good to you?
Works for me.
All right. Because we should have both.
They might have Atlanta, huh?
Yeah, we should have both injury reports by now.
Atlanta's is nothing. They got that linebacker that they just drafted in the second round, Arnold. Okay. I'm gonna botch his last name up.
Mm-hmm.
Ebiketie.
Who?
He's limited. Ebiketie.
Say it one more time.
Am I right on that?
No, I actually don't know. I don't know actually. Yeah.
But he was limited. Chuma Edoga, offensive tackle, knee limited. Jalen Dalton, defensive tackle. He did not practice with the toe. And then Cordell Patterson is just resting. So their injury report's kind of light.
Yeah, but also
Kyle Pitts is out.
Yeah, I was about to say, because that was the big news. Yeah, they IR'd him. They gonna have surgery on his MCL, so he's done. We don't have to see him at all. But yeah, that was the big one right there, was the Kyle Pitts part. But yeah, so we're good with that then, though, man. And yeah, we figure with Cordell Patterson, ain't no running away from that. So yeah, might as well see it head on then, baby. But yeah, pretty much nothing significant. Okay.
They've had some injuries throughout the season where dudes are out for the year and stuff.
Casey
but in terms
Hayward,
of like the guys on the roster right now, this kind of light.
Yeah, they're talented guys, or some of their talented guys, man. They've, like you said, they've already lost them dudes, man. Yep.
Okay, ours looks like 10 deep. Najee. Oblique. DNP.
Now, did you see the report? I think it was Ian Rappaport said that it wasn't significant. So that is at least a positive right there. Yeah.
I saw that as well. Keller Witherspoon, hamstring, DNP. We're never seeing him again.
Deke. Oh, baby. Oh, man. I'm trying hard, Deke. Oh, man. This is one is just like, yo, scratch my head. Like, what we doing? What we doing, Deke? I don't like that situation, man. What's up with
Minka?
The hammy, man? What's up with this hammy, man?
I don't know.
What's up with this hammy, man?
I really don't know.
Wow. Come on, man.
I don't know what to make of it.
Look, I need you to do your back channels. Go get your sources. You know how you take your dream naps, whatever you need to do. We need to know what's up with this hammy, man. When are we going to see him again? This is your guy. What's going on?
When did he get hurt? That was the Browns game, right?
Yeah. Then he came back.
I think it was week 3.
Yeah. He missed like up until the bye week. Came back for Philly. We saw how Philly went, and
we haven't seen him since.
Unless he pulled it in, maybe he got hurt in Philly. We said no.
That's what people say about the hamstrings. They could be nagging. No,
it definitely can. Once you pull it, yes, the likelihood of you pulling it again in that season increases. The likelihood of you tweaking it increases. Yeah, that's just that type of muscle, man. So yeah.
Minka, ribs limited. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's psycho. We ain't tripping. That man say, "Kid, take my appendix. I'm gonna go ahead and try to hit somebody on Sunday 2 days later." Nah. He's gonna be good. We ain't worried about him. Yeah, he's good.
Spillane, oblique, limited. Trending in the right direction.
Yeah, because last week, he wasn't even available to go. So at least getting back out there. Okay.
Especially for special teams, people are bringing up Cordarrelle Patterson. We're going to have to go up against him.
Yeah.
Miles Jack, knee, limited. He'll be fine.
Now, we said that last time, and he missed the game behind that knee.
He did, but
that's my only thing.
Wasn't he DNP a couple of those practices? And then they didn't have him on the injury report, and then
he
come
popped
Sunday,
up and
then he was out.
Yeah. Right. So you say he went from DNP to not on the injury report to not even playing. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah, it was weird. He's limited though. I'm just saying that's more of a positive side at least. For sure. And we've seen him limited and have the knee throughout the season before, and he's ended up playing. So if I had to bet, I think Miles Jack plays. If I had to put money on it.
What if you had to put an eyebrow on it?
Wow. I just don't want to deal with that again. I would. I'd bet like $100. I'd bet $100 if you gave me even odds. Yeah.
Okay. But I say I'm not doing that, but I just always ask. It's like I know how far you're willing to go. Would you willing to go that far for that? That's all. But it is good to know that though. Okay. So we feel good about my man Miles Jack. All right. Because he been balling, man. I need him.
I feel the same way about Mason Cole because he popped up again too. Foot limited. He's gonna play. Yeah. We've seen him on the report pop up throughout the season, and he's always played. Yeah. TJ Watt, ribs, limited.
All right.
What do you make of it?
A little rib thing,
I thought he was dealing with an ankle on Monday night. Weren't they checking his foot?
I thought they took the cleat off. They took a shoe off, and then they was like working and then put it back on. So yeah, I'm with you, but maybe it's a rib now. I don't know. I just don't want it to be the nagging thing of like, all right, it's rib this week, it's ankle this week, oh, it's elbow now, oh, now it's shoulder, now it's this. Now it's just like, come on, man, don't start doing that now. Don't you start that.
Ogunjobi, toe, limited.
Turf toe. On that though. We ain't tripping on that. That he'd be all right. Big then Larry, you saw Larry Ogunjobi how he was getting off that ball on Monday night. We ain't tripping on him. He can be all right.
Yeah, great signing. Miles Boykin, oblique, full.
Okay, that's good. What's up with all these obliques and ribs all of a sudden? What's that about? Sheesh.
I don't know. And then Jaylen Warren, hamstring, full.
Did you see the quote from him? He said,
no.
The doctors cleared me. I'm good to go. That's what he said. Doctors cleared me.
So really fast recovery time for Jaylen Warren on his hamstring. Akello Witherspoon, not so much.
Yeah, but the thing could be this. For Akello, if it was a legit pull, that's a way more significant injury. And he's at a position where he has to use that muscle predominantly when you're talking about big speed, long running and stuff like that. So when you get fatigued, when you get dehydrated, the hammy is the first thing or one of the first things that start to cramp up. One of the first things you have to worry about fatiguing or pulling. So if you've pulled it like how Akello, it looks like that's what he did. That's why his could definitely last as long as it has been lasting. It's so easily to tweak in a game where he's doing what? Overexerting himself trying to keep up with A.J. Brown, right? Whereas for Jaylen, if Jaylen was able to come out that game when he first felt it start to grab, and it was more so in the tweaking variety, right? When you talk like grade 1 versus grade 2 versus grade 3, tweaking versus kind of a pull versus significant pull versus like tearing it off the bone type situation, right? You got all those different grades for the hammy pull. So for Jaylen, if he was able to catch that thing at the front end of this before it became significant, you rested last week, through your rehab and stuff like that, yeah, he probably is feeling better. I still have my concerns in terms of if he's fatigued. When you put shoulder pads on because it's added weight, when you're talking about the pushing and pulling, breaking tackles, that's when you have to see how that hammy is going to respond because you can't simulate that in practice. You can't simulate that in the training room. That's one of them things that you just got to be out there. But if he, feels like he's good with it, man, then yeah, that's a great situation, man, if he's back. But that's my only concerns when you start talking them hammies, man. Like, once you pull it, it could be bad for the rest of that season.
Any additional thoughts on the running back situation? Najee DNP, Jaylen Warren, full. I'm not going to front from the research I've done on the Falcons. I kind of want to see what Benny Snell can do.
Hey. But how are you
Benny
going
Snell
to...
and Jaylen Warren. I'd like to see what those two dudes could do.
But if Najee's available, how are you sitting him?
I think we just give him rest this week.
See, that's how it all starts. Hey, we just want to rest you real quick. Next is, hey, Najee, we trying to prolong your career. We got a package for Jaylen Warren all of a sudden. We got a Benny Snell package. Okay. Hey, Najee. Hey, we really like what we're seeing from you, but we're thinking this week we're going to just start to split some carries just because this team, they're going to have some difficulties. Just this week we're going to split your carries. Just this week. Well, I mean,
I think why I want to see it
successful, so we might as well keep it going, and that's how it all happens, man. Mm-hmm.
I think one of the reasons why I want to see it too, and why this part of the whole Snell has a good game. Now can he be running back one? I think why this is different from the past moments that it's occurred is we have a steady guy in Jaylen Warren, I think that we believe in case things go bad with Snell.
But we haven't seen steady guy Jaylen Warren by himself without a Najee Harris. That's the thing. I don't know if you're willing to, how do you say, hey, Najee, man, we're not even going to attempt to put you back out there this week.
You don't. If Najee's good, they're going to put him out there.
Yeah, you got to have
him. Am I wrong, though, in saying I kind of want to see what Benny Snell could do against this Falcons defense?
Deke, listen. Me as we just talking, no, you're not wrong. Me understanding how the organization works, Deke, you're wrong, okay? That's the answer. Yeah, I'm with you. It's very intriguing. I think that, I would like to see it as well. But for the success, for the team, for the future, for Najee's role, you cannot do that, man. You got to roll with him. You know that. You got to. You cannot do... Unless Najee physically can't play, you cannot do that right now, man. That's... I mean, I know we like it. And we'll hit you with the... Man, they do it everywhere else. They started splitting carries with Zeke. They won't do it with Zeke his second year in the league. That's the thing. You can't do it that fast, because when you do it that fast, you're letting them know, hey, we kind of got it wrong on you. You're not the bell cow. You're more of a rotational piece. That's a hard message to send, man. I don't know.
Jaylen Warren is our version of Tony Pollard to Zeke already. We're already doing that.
So it's just
I get what you're saying. It's almost like the quarterback switch back and forth. With us drafting Najee in the first round and declaring him a leader and captain of this team, I don't think they do it right now. But I'm telling you, I am kind of intrigued, especially with how Benny Snell played last week. That's all.
But think about this. Then you were just talking about just all that about Najee in the first round. And then a year later, you're moving on from him for an undrafted guy that you got this year, and Benny Snell, who up until last game, we haven't even seen him play this season. Yeah, that's a tough message to send to Najee. Yeah, that's a tough one.
I think it just comes down to, I feel like the ceiling to the running game could be better than what we've seen thus far, with Najee being the RB1. Fair. Because we've got to see it this year. I feel like what we saw in the Colts game, man, I think that's better than what we've been getting the whole first half and then these last couple games after the bye.
If we're talking about a potentially higher ceiling, you have to exclusively be talking about this season. Because what we saw from Najee last season, we haven't seen Benny Snell show that he can do that for 16 games, 17 games. So we're still making this decision based on what? A short sample size of just this year. If we're going to go full sample size even with Benny Snell, we got to include the fumbles. We've never seen Najee do that, right? Have those type of costly turnovers. We've also seen Najee be a lot more consistent. Even Jaylen Warren, we haven't seen him have to be the bell cow for X amount of games, right? And deliver on that level. We can at least say Najee has done that. So, that's a I'm
with you. It's not happening. I'm with you. If Najee's good to go, he's gonna go for sure.
I'm over
and
here.
We are just talking about this season for sure.
I'm like, I need to at least have Najee, because to me, when I think of floor versus ceiling, okay, if we're talking exclusively this season, I think yes, you do potentially have a higher ceiling with a Benny Snell, Jaylen Warren, Anthony McFarland, because of the athletic ability and the burst that we've seen from them guys. But I also think we have a lower floor because how many of those dudes are definitively better blockers than Najee Harris? How many of those guys are definitively better ball handlers in terms of ball security than Najee Harris? How many of these dudes have definitively shown that they can actually lead you in November, December, the winter months when it's cold, and you could feed this dude 20 plus times and he's going to deliver? None of those dudes outside of Najee has shown us that. So that's the part where I'm like, this season, yes, you have a higher opportunity for excitement, but I also feel like you have a bigger chance for the ball security issues to pop back up. Absolutely. Because we haven't been talking about ball security. We haven't been talking about fumbles. But you start having that, it's like, whoa, that's a whole nother ball game. That goes back to the turnovers like through the air with Kenny. It was like, man, all right, they're not on you, Kenny, but at the same time, it's still happening. So it's like, yo, something's got to give here. When we talk about pass protection, Najee has been one of our more consistent pass blockers, right? One of the more consistent pass blockers in the league in terms of running back play. You start subbing that out. Now, granted, Benny Snell can still block very well. Jaylen Warren, very well. But they're not Najee Harris in terms of how he's able to do it. Number one, because of the size part of it, right? That's the biggest difference because all of these dudes have come through that fire and laid trove. So I'm not questioning that part. But what I am saying is, hey, man, if it's a Chihuahua with a ton of fight and it's a Rottweiler with a ton of fight, I'm going to take the Rottweiler. You know, and in that scenario, Najee is the freakazoid. Najee's the one when you stand them all next to each other, he look very different than the rest of them. So that's why it's just like, man, I see the bro from the why are you doing this?
It's Benny Snell's fault. He's doing it again.
No. It's Benny's
playing
fault.
With our emotions.
It's Benny Snell's fault and it's Najee Harris' fault, man. Because if Najee would have been healthy and just doing what he's supposed to do, we would never even have to have these type of conversations. But because of how this season has played out for him, some of us on him, some of us not on him. Some of us on the offensive line, some of us on play calling. We get it. But either way, the play hasn't been good enough, and that's why we legitimately have to have a conversation like, yo, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. It's just the politics of everything. Like, that's the part where it's going to get too messy.
Yeah, because we can't deny what we saw in that Indy game.
We cannot deny that. We definitely cannot.
You got to see it all happen within the game, too. It wasn't like we saw it a couple games ago, and then we got to see Snell play. No, it was Najee went down with an injury. We saw how he was looking in that game. Yeah. Benny Snell and McFarland came in, and it was just more explosive. No, and if Snell has that element that Najee Harris has of being able to run over people and be a physical presence, then it's like, dude, I kind of want to see what it could look like going forward. Yeah. That's all. That's all. I'm not wishing one way or another. I'm throwing out some of my thoughts right now.
All I'm saying is I'm going to at least give Najee a healthy opportunity. I need to see him fully healthy. Right now, we know this year he ain't been the most healthy dude. And if the conversation is, all right, are we trying to protect you from yourself? And that's why we're making the decision. And it just so happens that it's paralleled with Benny Snell coming off the performance. We get a chance to see it. That's different. But I think it would need to have a clear messaging of why we're doing this. Like, yo, we literally feel like you're injured. Like, it has to be that. It can't be we just want to experiment, because that also sends a mixed message to not just Najee, but to the team. You know, you can't do that, man. You just can't do that. At least not from my experiences.
Agreed. I'm with you on that. Yeah. All right, we getting into this preview here. Likes and don't likes. Absolutely. And speaking of likes, why don't everybody hit the like button on the stream? I totally forgot to even say that today. You hit the like button, subscribe also if you have not done so. But today we will just tap into what we like and don't like about the Atlanta Falcons. Tomorrow when we come back, we'll obviously do the full game preview, score predictions, all that stuff. And then we also got to tap back into our stack on our paper, man. You kind of ducked off on me last week and wanted to call in sick. But I was preached. That's not what I wanted because I was on a hot streak.
Hey, you
I think I could have picked up some games last week.
You had a hot week. You did not have a hot streak. A hot week. You was going to get mopped, man. It was about to be over. Because I was definitely going to run you up with Buffalo. I was going to check that box off. You would have got me with Baltimore, because I would have definitely picked Baltimore.
Didn't the Lions cover Buffalo, though?
I don't even remember.
The Lions might have covered.
I didn't know what the spread was. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know what the spread was, but I still feel like I would have won it, though. It would have worked out for me. Just know.
Oh, yeah. They definitely covered because the Bills won on that last, that field goal at the end. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely would have covered. I would have got you there. Yeah, I think I would have got you on some other games.
Okay.
Maybe picked up 2 or 3.
Unfortunately for you, we'll never know.
Yeah, I needed that week. I need every week. right
Hey
now.
man, hey, no week
Every
better than the present
opportunity.
week. No week better than the present, baby. So you know what? We're gonna spin that block tomorrow. We're gonna have all the fun we need to have. All right. So yeah. But let's start the way we always do with our likes and don't like. So in the chat, we will start with the positivity first because I like positivity and zen. Ooh, so drop 3 things that you currently like about this Falcons team. Just 3 things, just 3 likes in the chat. We'll drop ours, and after that, man, we'll spin the block and see what y'all had to say. So I'll go first, man, in terms of my first like. Sound good to you, man?
Sure.
So the first thing that I like about this Falcons team is that they have a very defined identity on offense. They want to run this rock. They're going to play out a big body personnel groupings. Man, you see a lot of 12 personnel. You see some 21 personnel with the fullback out there. And at times, they even give you that, like, Baltimore Ravens look with the full house backfield, man. College style, middle dude back in, and you got 2 guys offset, shotgun, zone read, runs, stuff like that. But it's clear what they're trying to do. They don't try to get too cute right now. And it's been working for them. It's kept them in a lot of these games, kept a lot of these games close for them. And that's why they're, even I think it's a game behind Tampa. Yeah, they're 1 or 2 games behind Tampa, even for the NFC South right now in terms of the lead. But to me, when I look at them on tape offensively, I just think that they have a defined identity, and that really helps them out a lot.
Yep, have the exact same thing. Their running attack. Not only the running backs, well, they have 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Patterson with 560 yards, 5 touchdowns. Algier with 552 yards, 4 touchdowns. Huntley has like 300 yards too. But also
one,
Marcus
yeah.
Mariota, you got to give him
Mm-hmm.
credit for what he's been able to do on the ground this year and keeping
Yeah.
that offense afloat, because he really hasn't been able to get it done in the passing game, but he
Yeah.
still has 421 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
combine all that together, they are a top 5 rushing
Yep.
offense in the league. And you're right.
Mm-hmm.
That is the definition of what they're going to be doing on offense
Yeah.
and what we got to be looking to stop on defense.
Yep. And you look at it, man, when teams try to not believe that they're going to play big boy bully ball and they try to come out there with that big nickel or that dime, man, they run that thing right down their throat until you actually commit. And that's the part that makes them good. And Mariota, man, he's doing a good job. He looks comfortable in the offense. Obviously, he has the familiarity with Arthur Smith, but it looks like it reminds me of watching Baltimore without Baltimore talent, without a Lamar Jackson. Like, if you take Lamar out of that offense, you put Mariota up there, it's like, this is kind of what I would anticipate it looking like. If you took away Mark Andrews, kind of how they lost Kyle Pitts, it's like, man, it kind of takes away from that. Now, I still feel like with them, like you said, they're still good at it, but it's just weird when you watch them. It still feels like they're missing something. But we'll get to that in a little bit too. All right, but the next thing that I do
in
like
general or in their running attack?
No, in general, man, in general.
Oh yeah, they're missing a lot. They're missing a lot.
Yes, man. That's what I was like. We'll get to that. But the second thing that I like about this team is Cordell Patterson. When you talk about Cordell, he's a big part of the running game in terms of why they're able to be good with that. But I also like the fact that Cordell, the way they use him, he makes their offense so much more versatile and multiple. They line up in 12 personnel or 21 personnel with him out there, and then he'll align as a wide receiver. They'll put 20 person or pony personnel, which is 20, right? 2 running backs and the rest of wide receivers. And instead of it being like legit 2 running backs out there, he's lining up in the slot. And that's how they'll create some of the mismatches with him, because he obviously is a former wide receiver. So they do certain things personnel-wise with Cordell that really helps him out. But then I also love the fact when you watch him as a return man, he's big time, like as good as advertised. One of them dudes that when you talk about Hall of Fame careers, we talk Devin Hester, but he's another guy. When you talk about from a special team standpoint, man, he's putting together some solid stuff, man. And that's the thing that I just really like about how versatile of a player he is. It's like, you don't just call him a running back. He's a football player. He's an athlete. He's like Josh Cribbs. Like when he was over in Cleveland, it's like, man, is Cribbs a receiver, a running back, a quarterback, return man? Nah, that's just Cribbs. Like, that's what he does. And when I look at Cordell Patterson, I feel, it's a lot of similarities like that.
Okay, I don't have him officially on my list, but I agree with you. I kind of just wanted to include him in the whole running attack because that's the one thing he has become in Atlanta too, because you want to look at his receiving stats. They're a little bit down from what they were
Yeah,
last year.
they
He's
are
becoming more of just like a
a
really
running back.
solid running back.
Yep.
So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got to give him credit for that transformation he's had throughout
Yep.
his career. The thing I got is the team's fight and that they're in every game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even
They compete,
though
man. They compete.
I look on their depth chart and I think their team sucks. I'm not even going to front on paper. I
Uh
just
huh.
look up and down. They're lacking a ton in terms of
Mm-hmm.
talent on both offense and defense.
Yeah.
But somehow, 9 of the 12 games they played are all one score. The other three, they
And
won one of
legitimately
them.
had chances to win those one score games. Like
Yeah, and
craziness,
some of them
bro.
are against good
Yeah,
teams.
craziness.
So they have fight in them. Every game is going to
Yeah.
be close. Like if you had to bet, literally, so 9 out of their 12 games are one
Mm-hmm.
score games. If you had to bet this Falcons
Mm-hmm.
Steelers game,
One
based
score.
off all of the Falcons
Yep.
matchups and how they play their games,
Yep.
this is going to be a close game. I hope it's not. I
Mm-hmm.
hope we blow them out.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just have a fight, even though I don't think their team's that good. This was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a rebuilding year for them. Mariota, he's kind of looked out as an outcast at this point in
Mm-hmm.
his NFL career. They're somehow still competitive, and as I mentioned earlier, they could be 6-6 right now. They could be 500. I
No,
don't know if that would
absolutely
be
good.
tied for the no. That would be the
That
leader
would the
of the
lead.
NFC
Yeah.
South right now
Yeah, that'll be the
because the
leader.
Bucks
Yep.
are 5-7 too. It's just that they have
Mm-hmm.
like a half game lead.
Correct.
It's just crazy to me. I can't believe this could be like a 500 team and be the leaders of the NFC South, but they do have fight to them, even though they lack talent, they lack personnel. They're in every game, so you got to give them credit.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right. Now, my third thing piggybacks a little bit on that. You said more so the fight. I put fundamentally sound. And this is the thing, man. They aren't talented. Some of that is because of injuries, some of that is just the draft picks that they've had. But the reason why they're in all of them games that you talk about, when you cut that tape on and we're like, how does this team even stay on the same field with this team? It's because they don't beat themselves. They catch the balls that you throw to them. They're gonna make the plays that you allow them to make. If you have a self-inflicted issue, they're gonna take advantage of that. I don't think that they have the talent to just line up across from you and beat you, and that's when you watch them on offense. You hardly ever see them just running directly at you. You don't see them just line up one back or two backs and just come downhill. No. Everything is off of a misdirection. They're either trying to get you looking here to go here. They want you looking outside when they go inside. They want you looking inside, they can go outside. Kind of at times like our offense has been, right? Until we kind of got our thing rolling the way it's been these past couple of weeks. But we feel personnel-wise, we just have a better group. But when I watch them, it's like, man, I love their fundamentals. Like when you watch them on defense, like, man, you got guys in the right place. This guy just can't get off the block. I like your passers, but he can't win one-on-ones. Your linebackers in good spots, they could tackle, but it's like, man, he got ran over right there. Like, that's not a negative in the sense of the fundamentals. That's a better player than you. But when you cut that tape on this team, they play hard and they play the game the way it's supposed to be played. It's kind of like watching a team that has a ton of B-level players versus having, a good amount of A's on your team. Like, that's one of the things, but they are very fundamentally sound, man. And that's going back to, I forgot I think it was Farron Bradford in the chat when he's like early on, this is not a gimme game. That's more so what he was referring to, because the way they play, they make it close because they don't do the things that make games blowouts. Things that make games blowouts are when you start throwing picks, you start fumbling, you give up explosive returns. That's how, things get out of hand. But for them, they don't have a lot of that on their tape, man. They do a really good job of just doing their job. And for at least 5 times this year, it's been good enough for them, man. But hopefully that will not be the case this weekend. But that was my third thing that I like about this Falcons team.
Last one, I'm gonna go with Terrell.
Oh, yeah.
Cornerback on defense.
Yeah.
I think he's their best player on defense.
He's one of them ones. Yep.
You could argue he's having a down year compared to last season,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think he's getting as much help from the Falcons defense as a whole. We'll get into dislikes. I was going to say their pass rush is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get to the quarterback. They're able to give a ton of yards on the ground as well. Just the Falcons defense as a whole is
Yep.
not really that good. So him being the
Deke,
best
Deke, we only
player,
talking
I
likes,
guess
man.
he's the
Don't.
one that's gonna be singled out and being pointed to as like, oh, he's having a
Yeah.
down year. He's not as good as we thought he was. But no, I still think
Yeah.
he's a really good cornerback. It just
Yeah.
wasn't the same as the historic year that he put up in his sophomore year.
Sophomore.
That's
Yeah.
all.
No, facts, man. No, you're absolutely right, man. And AJ was definitely one of the ones that I did want to include, man, because yeah, he is still very, very talented. The athletic ability, man, the ranginess, ball skills. He had one play where, I mean, obviously it wasn't an interception, but it was definitely close where he just has a nice break on the ball, man, and goes and beats a playmaker. Like that's the caliber guy he is, man. So it is good to see that. But yeah, shout out to you though, calling out the little. Well, I don't want to call him little because this is third year now, so he's growing up in this thing. So shout out to AJ Terrell. But let's see in the chat what y'all had to say for your likes about this Atlanta Falcons team. Hannibal.
Rod Dallas.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Because I think Hannibal had dislikes. He went dislikes first. So I was about to misread that. So I will wait on the dislikes. But
I got him with some likes. He says 1 women to men ratio. 20 to 1.
Wow.
2, the strip clubs. 3, the Falcons have Cordell Patterson.
For sure. I think I saw somebody put Magic City in here as well, man. Y'all crazy.
Rod Dallas has Cordell Patterson as 1 and also as his 2nd. So maybe it's the versatility that he brings, One side of him's a halfback, other side of him he could be a receiver, special teams ace. And 3, AJ Terrell. Jesse Miller says hard uniforms and helmets. 2, new beginning in the reset. And he says 3, Mike Vick.
Shout out to Vic.
What do you think, though, about their new uniforms compared to the Vic era and Matt Ryan ones, though?
I mean, it's just different time frame. Like all of them are dope to me. I grew up as a Vic fan, so the Vic ones are definitely my favorites because at that time they were so innovative, going with the side stripe with the colorway and stuff like that. But I also was a big fan of the Dirty Bird dance from Jamal Anderson back then with that style of logo. So I love that one too. That's the one that Primetime wore. So yeah. But
they do have a good jersey catalog.
Yeah. For me, I've always loved their colorway, man. And the way that they, flirt with the logo and how you have like a legitimate throwback look, but also you have their modern look. Yeah, that was also one of the reasons why even, in free agency, when I considered them, I was thinking about that. I'm like, bro, I love black and red now. But hey, I'll tell you, look, they tried to draft me coming out of college. So when it came back around, I'm like, hey, man, Atlanta might be the over. Okay, I can rock black and red. I can be at the Hawks game. I had already in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna be on the Hawks game, feet on the wood, sitting next to the Migos. Unfortunately, I stayed here. Unfortunately, it was a great decision and it was awesome. But that's why I don't get to wear black and red as often, and I never got to sit next to the Migos on the floor at the Hawks game. But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Mike Hood likes for Atlanta. He says 1, the rushing attack. 2, their backers are solid, and 3, their helmets.
Yo, the uniforms are clean, bro. The uniforms are clean, man.
We got Havoc Pleasant saying Patterson, Drake London, and Pitts.
For sure. Obviously the thing with Pitts, won't see him because of the knee. Drake London has been interesting to me though, man. Have you thought of him this season, bro?
Uneventful.
When you said I was like, yep, say no more.
I feel like it's more about the offense, though.
It is.
Because everything we talked about in our first was the Falcons' rushing attack. They are committed to rushing the ball. And you have Marcus Mariota as a quarterback. Yeah. Even going back to whenever he was the starter with the Titans, those receivers were not putting up stats at all. It's just, I think, what you get whenever you have Marcus Mariota as your quarterback.
Yeah, the offense under Mariota is designed to run the ball and throw play-action deep overs. That's the offense. They're going to throw the deep over. They're going to throw a deep comeback, a deep out, but everything is predicated off of the run game. Kyle Pitts was their explosive guy, the guy that could get you the mismatch and really take the top off, but they don't even have that right now, and it shows. It definitely shows.
You got any?
No, that was it for what I was saying, because Stan Clair was also said primetime, Deion Sanders, and Michael Vick. Stan Clair. Nope, I ain't going there, Stan Clair. Nope. You're not getting me today. Nope. So, yeah, I think we are good. think we're good. Yep. All right. So now we're gonna go to the. Oh, actually, we did have John Eason. He said Desmond Ritter, Cal Pitts, and Cordell Patterson. Yeah, I forgot about Ritter down there, man. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll see him today.
Go have a little fun that was going to be one of my questions. Yeah, I wonder why they haven't gone to him sooner, because Mariota, he's the safe pick, but
he's kept them in.
You're definitely capped with him. Whereas Ritter, who knows? We got to see some good things from him in the Senior Bowl and just the whole scouting combine process, where maybe he could be better than Mariota, at least
this is
throwing
the question,
wise.
though. But this is the question.
Yeah, though. I wonder how committed they are to this whole rushing attack and rushing offense, though, because I don't know if Ritter would run it the same as Mariota.
Well, my other thing is this: is he good enough? Let's find out. We're getting right now. We're one game out of winning the division. Like, that's the thing that I'm always trying to figure out. Like, I'm all for young players developing, young players getting opportunities, but not at the expense of victories, not at the expense of winning, because winning is the end all be all. Winning is the most important part when you're talking about why you play this game. So that's why I'm like, man, I get the excitement around Desmond or the intrigue, but Mariota got them boys at 5-7, and they legitimately could be, like you said, 6-6 or even 7-5. You know, definitely last game. Definitely last game for them at least.
Well, I think it's also probably the flow of how their season has went too, because were they 4-3 or
they were? They started out hot and then got banged up, and then kind of went where they went. And then they started losing all those like close ones.
Were they first in the division at some point?
I don't know.
So it kind of goes to your point, though. If you're first or kind of in the hunt still for your division title at any point of it, you're not that eager to make a quarterback switch.
Yeah.
Like even now, literally last week, they could have been in the lead for the NFC South if Mariota didn't get that pass tipped at the end of the game and Washington picked it off.
Mm-hmm. That's my only
thing. So I get you. I would be intrigued with Ritter, though. I don't know if they're eager to make that switch.
I definitely get the intrigue, and if it was coming out of camp and he beat him out, I think that's different. But right now, this is the scenario that we talked about with Trubisky. We said if Mitch was going to have us in contention or where we're like right there, it's like, nah, you would roll with it. It didn't work out like that for us at the time. We made our move a little bit earlier, but for Atlanta, man, you can see where they're at. It's like, man, I'm not.
Mariota's probably benefited with the Bucs sucking though too, because 5-7 is not like that good of a record.
Bro, it's still 5-7. That's all I'm saying. Like,
but if the Bucs were what we thought they were going to be heading into the season, they would probably be like 8-3 or 7-4 right now, and the Falcons would be out of playoff contention.
But everybody, when you're coming into the season, optimism is through the roof. It was plenty of people that were very high on the Carolina Panthers coming into this season, right? Top-notch defense or a really good defense. You got Baker Mayfield, and he's supposed to be healthy and all this other stuff. People were excited about them. That's all. But at the end of the day, the results are what they are right now. And that's why it's like, man, I'm not saying you build around Mariota long term, but I'm going to see what this look like, at least for these next 4-5 weeks until it's completely over. I need to at least see this a little bit more, man, because he's been producing.
Yeah, it looks like by week 8 they were 4-4.
Yeah.
So that was probably being the leader in the NFC South. And they lost their next 2. They end up beating Chicago, get to 5-6. So yeah, you're rolling with Mariota.
But hopefully that'll be a benefit for us, and I do feel like it will be. Just throwing that out there also.
I agree. Right. we have, from what I remember, it might only be one game we played against Mariota. Was it that
was the
Thursday
50?
Night game?
Yeah, when they put up 50? Yeah.
We played another game against him. I can't recall. We've had some pretty good success against him.
Yeah, Mariota's just not one of them guys that, coordinators I feel like got to stay up late at night over. That's all. Like, he's a good player. Don't get it twisted. He's still a good player, but it's just different. So now
it's more about their scheme than him.
Yes, very true. All right, so now we're going to transition and talk a little bit about the don't likes. What we don't like about this Atlanta Falcons team. So drop in the chat 3 things that you do not like about this Atlanta Falcons team.
And yes, he only played one game against us.
And that's all we needed to see.
Yeah, it was that Thursday night game. 4 interceptions.
Mm-hmm. Seen enough. It was perfect. In fact, that was one where Vince got a pick, right?
I can't remember. I
Oh,
know
I
he
don't.
picked off Cam Newton. It
He
was the
had the,
Cam
no, yo,
Newton
you're
pick
right. You're right.
six.
He had the Cam one. No, I don't know
We
about
were
the
both in
Mariota one
color
then.
rush jerseys for both the games.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know then. You might be right. I might mix them up. Oh,
I don't remember
yeah.
who the 4 picks are.
I don't know. Cause the Mariota one, was that the one where Pouncey? No. That wasn't Pouncey and DeCastro jumping on Eric Reed that game, was it?
I can't remember.
I don't remember. It was one of the two, but
You
you're
were there.
definitely right. They were both
You were
color.
blacked out.
Oh,
Were you so locked in?
No. You know what? I do remember it now. You're right. Because the first one, the Mariota one, I played in that game. We definitely whooped. I don't know who got the I think Blake. I think him, Ross Cocker. I feel like both of them might have had one in that game, bro. Yeah. I know what game you talking about now. Because my dog Norris Cersei was playing on the other side, man. Shout out to my homie, man.
They
that
had
was
the
our
baby
first time.
blues on.
Yeah, because that was our first time linking up. Because I actually have his jersey from that game. Yeah, dude. Yeah, okay. Because the next one was when Vince had the pick six. That was 18 because I was in AZ then. So yeah, we did get Mariota. That was definitely the Mariota one. Okay, yeah. We like him a lot then. We're good. Oh yeah, we're good. If he had 4 picks with that defense that year, oh baby. Hey, Deke, listen. Defense in the Killer Bees era was not the defense that you see in today's Steelers, okay? So for a guy to have 4 interceptions against that defense back then, baby, just know. He gonna have a lot stiffer competition out here this week, man. So I'm excited for that. But let's talk about what we don't like. First thing I don't like, we both kind of alluded to it. They have good, but not really great players. Or not enough great players. Grady Jarrett, I like him a lot. Do I like him over Cam Hayward, though? Nah. AJ Terrell, I think he's really, really good, but he's still young. And we're seeing if, he's more of a year 2 guy or year 1 guy. Now, he is shown to be a lot more of a year 2 guy, so I will throw that out there. But after that, we're starting to search. We're like, man, who are the other elite tier? Troy Anderson. We liked him a lot coming out of Montana, but he's a young player. He's still learning to play linebacker. Remember, he transitioned to linebacker over at while he was in college at Montana. Then from there on offense, banged up. Kyle Pitts, that would be one of your elite scary talents, but he's not available to you.
Oh, they haven't even been using him that much either.
Yeah. Matt Ryan, he had more success with Matt Ryan a year ago than he did this year before he got hurt. Yeah. But then it's like, you look in the backfield and it's like, I really enjoy watching Cordero Patterson play, but at the same time, is Cordero the same level of scary as like when I watch a Saquon Barkley? You know what I mean? Is he the same level of scary as like when I watch a Christian McCaffrey? It's like he's still a really good player, but is it to that level in terms of scary with the ball in his hands? Now, he's been doing some good stuff down there, but it just seems like I said, like they're just missing something. And part of it is just having extra talent. Like, we'll see what that talent develops into. Obviously, a Drake London, you'll see what that may look like down the line, but right now, when I watch them, I just don't feel like they have guys that are mismatches or guys that make you get uncomfortable when you're watching them. Like, man, how do we account for this dude right here? How do we offset that right there? How can we do this? Like, I don't see a lot of that with this group right now as they're currently constructed.
I'm with you 100%. That's actually what I have. As my first point on the dislikes, I have it listed as missing depth / talent. Because you could go through any team. There's always going to be at least a handful of guys that you could point to, like, all right, that dude's good, right? So Drake London, in this case, Drake London, we think he's a young, talented receiver. Cordero Patterson, he's obviously doing good things down there. AJ Terrell on defense. Rashawn Evans, he's a nice inside linebacker. You pointed out Grady Jarrett.
Yeah.
Richie Grant, he's not a bad safety. So there's guys.
They got
good players. After them, and, I guess here's the problem too. Like, even the top guys we're talking about, we're just saying like, yeah, they're good. There's no one that we say like, oh shit, that's TJ Watt. Oh damn, that's Minka Fitzpatrick. Or like whenever we had Ben and AB, oh shit, like they got the killer bees. They don't have any of those dudes. Maybe Kyle Pitts, but they weren't utilizing him at all.
They weren't.
So then after that, you like the depth. After Drake London, Zacchaeus, Demir Beard. They don't have Calvin Ridley anymore. They traded him with Jaguar. I mean, he was out this year anyway with the suspension.
But you catch the drift. I'm just like, bro, like, I don't.
Mariota's your starting quarterback. There's a reason he's been a free agent over these last like 3 years.
Once again, Mariota a good player, but he ain't gonna
He's
keep
fine.
you up at night like that. So it's not, like I said, it's not disrespectful, but that is context, man. And that's part of the reason why they are record-wise where they are as well, man.
What do you got for 2?
So at that number 2 spot, though, for me, man, I said they're not very explosive on offense. Part of that, like you talked about, is the design of it. But I don't know, man. I just think it's hard to win without, or it's hard to be a successful offense without having something to back those defenders about that box, so to speak. Kind of like what we ran into at times last year, right? When we say, man, we just need to open it up a little bit more. We need to just be able to stretch the field more consistently to just give a more favorable box. When I watch Atlanta, I'm just like, man, everything is based off of this Russian attack. And when it's on, man, it's really tough to defend because you have to be so disciplined. It's like when you play Baltimore, it's that one-off approach. Now, they don't run it to the same level of efficiency, nor do they run it to the same level of the amount of the zone runs, right? Or zone read runs. But they run a lot of it, or a good enough amount of it, that if you're not very comfortable playing it and defending it, it could have an effect, a negative effect on you. But versus us, I don't see us having that type of issue because we see this type of stuff twice a year with Baltimore, with Lamar Jackson, where it's a lot more
it's a better
scary.
version.
It's way more explosive. Like Lamar, man, it's night and day when Lamar pull that ball versus when Mariota pulls that ball. It's night and day watching Baltimore when they want to throw that rock versus when Atlanta wants to throw that rock. And it's just hard to like not acknowledge that. I just think that really hinders them, and it hinders how productive they can be. But at the same time, their approach, it works. That's why they are 5-7. It does.
It
work.
Works enough to keep them in games, keep them competitive.
It's good enough where you're gonna allow that team to make the mistake. If you don't make the mistake, you'll beat them every time. But if you make the mistake, they're good enough with this type of offense, with this type of team, this type of approach, that they'll win. And that's how they've been doing it. It's the ugliest, most stank way. It's like, bro, why you gotta come out here and play this? It's like, what, you go to the court and the dude got the high white socks pulled up, the headband, and it's like, oh, you wanted it with knee pads on. He ready to play defense? I'm like, bro, we just trying to vibe all here. That's them, but it works. It's ugly, but it works. Yeah. Still don't like it,
the
though.
thing we haven't been doing these last 3 games is turning the ball over. So
which is
I'm hoping that
beautiful.
continues. Should continue.
Definitely. No, it definitely should. Definitely should.
My second is, even though he's out this game, I wanted to include him in here because you could say this as a dislike as well. Kyle Pitts being injured, that sucks for the Falcons.
Facts.
But also, / them just not involving him as much as he should be, given that he is a generational talent.
He is a guy that you should design an offense around, not have him just be
a
part
part
of an offense. Right. He's more like a +1 to this offense versus being the main attraction in this offense. Yeah.
So I don't really know what to make of that. I would chalk it up more to it being them having Mariota.
Yeah.
But I don't – how much is it going to change, though, with Ritter? Are they going to be trying to do all this Mariota stuff with him?
I just think it's one of those things where when it's Mariota, you already know what he struggles with. So it's a lot easier to just say, hey, this is the offense we're going to run. This is the approach we're going to take. Let's go with it. When it's Desmond Ridder, you're going to have to go through that trial and error period of, can you actually throw the ball better than Mariota? Can you be a more consistent passer from the pocket? Or are you a guy that you have to have it, drummed up off of play action? Are you a guy that we got to scheme everything open? Or are you a guy that has the arm talent that it doesn't matter what the route is, you're good enough to throw this guy open? Like, they're going to have to go through that process. Now, we saw him do some stuff in college, saw him do some stuff at the Senior Bowl. But as we talked about on numerous occasions, and as we continue to see, that is way different than actually doing it in the NFL and then doing it week to week to week as well, man. So they're going to have a little process with that, man. But
it'll be interesting because Ritter did look pretty good in the preseason.
No, he did.
It'll just be one of those scenarios to monitor because if Pitts can't get anything going when they start to look to Ritter like next season or something, he could be a trade target. So you'll definitely start to hear the whole hashtag free Pitts, get him in a good situation that could feed him more and use him more, target him more and everything. It's just crazy, man, because he had a really good rookie year, and we know the type of talent that he is. It's just mind-boggling to me that they couldn't figure out some way to utilize him more this year.
Hey, man, he was a part of Moats' winners, winners only, 55-52. That was my fantasy football team name. I don't know if you know that because we kicked a lot of Cal Pitts he was part of the money team last year, so that's all you need to know. He was part of that team. Okay,
there you go.
When winners only 55, 52 picks you up, it's a great day. All right, so my final my final dislike that I have for this Atlanta Falcons team, I'm gonna do a two-part then. Since you brought up the fact there's no Cal Pitts, and part of that is because of the offense, I'm gonna bring up the fact that Takeoff is no longer here with us because of him passing away. So I'm still sad about that because I'm a big Migos guy. Along with the fact that their pass rush is barf. Not a fan of it. Not a fan of the pass rush, man. Grady Jarrett, I like him a lot, especially in his one-on-ones. I think that, obviously he's the team leader in sacks, 5.5 of those things, and he's a really good player. I think at times too, man, because of his counterparts when it's pass, he doesn't play as disciplined because when you the only guy that can get off like that, sometimes you got to do all that extra stuff. And it does compromise them at times, but I do like him a lot. I think that, he could be, like I said, if it was a bunch of Grady Jarrett's, I think their pass rush should be really, really good. But unfortunately, it's not. And he plays the interior D-line part where it is a lot harder to take over and have the impact that you would get from an outside linebacker. Like if it was just a TJ Watt, you could survive because of the position. It's a lot easier for him to have major impact on the game. But because he's an interior D lineman, it's a lot more challenging for him there. But yeah, their pass rush to me is not good enough, man. Quarterbacks have a ton of time. And you know how this league goes, man. When your quarterback got time, everybody look good when they got time, baby. Everybody look good when they got time. So for us, this is a great situation, but I definitely cannot stand it about the Falcons, man. That pass rush.
I have the same thing as my third one. I have no edge threats or pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're bottom three.
Yeah.
Do I have this listed right? Bottom three team in sacks this year. They might be the worst.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
They have like 17. I think they're right. Or, no, 22.
It's pretty bad. They're a bottom three team. I can't remember if they're the worst or not.
Bad, bro. Yeah.
But hold on. I did some more stat digging too. They only have 4 QB hurries this year.
Mm-hmm. That's not enough.
That is worse than the league. That's hands down the worst in the league.
That is not
enough. So,
Here's we're not even talking sacks or QB hits. We're just talking hurries. That is not enough.
Only 4 for the whole year.
That is not enough, bro. Yeah.
This stat digging made me a little depressed though, because you know who the second worst team is?
We're going through a difficult time. Chill out.
It's us. I'm a little surprised at that though. Second worst. Surprised. But we have 13. But that just goes to show how bad the Falcons are. We have 13 hurries. They have 4.
Don't be surprised by look at how many sacks we have this year. We don't have a lot of sacks either. I
know we didn't have TJ Watt.
In fact, they're at 17. We're at 22. The difference was Grady Jarrett is their leading sacker with 5.5. We got Alex Highsmith who has 10. That's the biggest difference, man. Yeah, but for us, we feel different because the story is a lot different. The injury to TJ Watt changed a lot, but we've also had games where we've seen our guys produce, and we're like, we know what they're capable of. But we also know that between the back end and what they dealt with at times, between the team being fatigued at times, there's been a lot more context in there. Whereas when we're looking at the Falcons, it's more so we're talking the personnel of this pass rush. It's like, who is your Alex Highsmith? Lorenzo Carter's who they're looking at as their top edge rusher. I'm like, that can't be your top edge rusher. It's not a shot at him because obviously he started in New York as well with the Giants. But you see the difference of productivity when we're looking at what Highsmith is doing right now versus what Lorenzo Carter is doing, and that's supposed to be their best guy. Whereas we look at Highsmith as you're holding it down because TJ is getting back. Whereas when we feel like TJ is on, we know what that freak can do. So it's pass rush, bro. It's not a good situation.
I think you could also add to that and just say their defense as a whole because they're not good at stopping the run either.
Yeah.
They're pretty bad in the passing game. Quarterbacks, dudes can light them up there. They could have a field day, but also you could run on them too. They just don't really have that good of a defense.
Yeah. This is true, man. Looks like we were on the same page with a lot of that then right there. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what the folks in the chat got to say then about the likes, or excuse me, the don't likes.
Push momentum. 1 Mariota, 2 Mariota, 3 Mariota. He's not a Mariota guy.
I could definitely see why he would not be a Mariota
Mitchell
guy.
Mania says 28-3.
28-3. Yeah, that was.
Oh, wait, he elaborates more. He has another comment. He says, lost to the Patriots after starting out winning 28-3. Mm-hmm. 2, their record is inflated by playing against easy teams. They do have a weak division right now. 3, the passing game is nearly non-existent.
Yeah. Okay.
And Steelers have been good in playing against the run.
All right, Rod Dallas. He says he doesn't like their run defense. Their offensive line, I would agree. Their offensive line is bad too. They're not in terms of pass. Run game, the offensive line is good. Pass game, running game, offensive line, And the third thing he says Marcus Mariota. All right. I like that. Oh, Carmichael, the sports guru, does give me an RIP takeoff in here as well, man. Yes. K Goated. He says he doesn't like their offensive line. He says our D-line should feast, in parentheses. Number 2, he doesn't like their pass rush. And number 3, he says Atlanta. He doesn't like that Atlanta isn't a safe place. Huh. Well, they say every place got some bad spots, man. So, yeah. Let's make sure y'all go to the nice spots. Oh, right.
Mike Hood. He says they are our enemy this week. He's keeping it really simple. 2, right. The D is suspect to the run. And 3, no real passing attack.
Okay.
Yeah, you could definitely include their passing game on dislikes.
Yeah, it's bad.
For sure.
Yep.
And even with Mariota, we know Mariota tries to take care of the ball a little too much. There are some passes he is trying to do way too much. Like spinning around, throwing up no-look deep balls that are getting picked and stuff. Just great. I saw him do it a couple times on Thursday night.
If he gets out of the framework of his game, it can get really bad. Yes. That's a Mariota, though. That's a Mariota staple. You know how Mariota plays, man.
Trying to be Mahomes. I was watching too many Mahomes highlights.
Hey, trying to be something that he is not. Yeah.
All right. I'm not seeing much else.
All right. So I was over here. I was like, man, let me pull up these. I want to see who had the 4 interceptions in that game. You ready for
are you looking it up?
All right, I looked it up. Are you ready for the names?
You have it?
I have it.
Can I guess?
Go ahead. You get 4 guesses for 4 names. Let's go.
I think you're right on Blake. I do think you're right on. You might be right on Cockrell then too. I'm gonna agree with you on that. Burns, and I'll throw in Sean Davis.
So you were 1 for 4. Damn. Sean Davis was the guy. Sean Davis had a pick.
Oh, so I was right on that one.
Sean Davis had a pick. Cody Sensabaugh had a pick.
Wow.
Mike Hilton, shout out to Money Mike. That's the homie. He had a pick as well. And last but certainly not least, the homie 5 on it, Robert Golden had a pick as well.
Oh, wow.
But we got to get on him because he had -1 on his return yards. Everybody else was 26, 32, and 41. He has 0 run after. Just make sure you let him know that, all right? Shout out to the homie, though, man. But those were the 4 guys, man. Sean Davis, Cody Sensabaugh, Mike Hilton, and Robert Golden. Yeah, it was 40-17. Your boy 7, man, he had 4 tutties that night. 30 for 45, 299.
Oh, yeah, he went off.
Yeah, 299 with 4 tutties, man. Sacked 3 times.
Mariota, AB had a good game, too.
Yeah, let me see. AB 10 for 144 with 3 tutties. L. Bell, 12 carries, 46 yards. 9 catches, 57 yards. That was Vintage. Yep. Juju, 4 for 47. Martavis had a 2 for 30 with a 20-yarder. Yep. Jeez, this is nuts. Yikes! Yeah,
dude, we walked into those games, and that's how it would play out.
Crazy.
And then it would be like it's nothing. It's like, yeah, that's what we do, and then on to the next game.
That was crazy. That was a good time, man. That was a good time back then. Absolutely. All right, let's see then. Let's tap into some of these soups. I think we got some of those, and then after that, we'll get ready to tap up out of this thing. Now that I look at the costume,
I should have the rest.
For sure. I'm surprised, man. We actually cook, man. 624, but we in this, straight the pot there one time, Deke. We said no matter if it's virtual or not. We still gonna get,
That's a good show.
We ain't done just yet. Nah, we got time for y'all today. We ain't done with y'all just yet. We still having fun. Unless y'all not having fun no more. Unless y'all want to say no more. Nah.
CJ's gamer tag. He says, me versus the clown in the chat on the fight card so I can Modern Warfare 2 teabag him after the KO. Great show, guys. Only Steeler podcast I can watch actually know the ball, no ball.
Oh no, man, respect though. We do appreciate you though, man. That's what we try to do. And yeah, that was funny. The boy said the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 teabag, like, bruh, that's what we doing. Like, Lord.
It seems like it's everyone in the chat against Noriega.
Hey, but Noriega, man, he's holding it down. He's fighting a good fight in there. As long as y'all keep it clean, it's all good. Just keep it clean.
Sean McCartney says, okay, tried to be nice to little Noriega, but now he's starting to cross the line with homophobic comments. How can someone that says they make that much money be this miserable? Also, has been dissing Deke.
Oh, Lord. Well, yeah, like I said, keep it clean, guys. Please, Big Noriega. We don't need any of the alleged or whatever you've been accused of, all right? Keep it clean. Both sides. Yes.
828 style. Witherspoon's hamstring injury report is not with his leg. He's just hamstrung from covering receivers. Remember the movie Don't Look Back? That's him.
Oh, bruh. He's going through his, yeah. He's going through a little moment, man. He's going through a little moment. But it's all right, though. Akello, we believe in him. He's a friend of the show, man. He going to bounce back. We ain't tripping. He going to bounce back. But the hammy, though, it is one of those injuries, man, where you have to be careful with it. And it does, the longer this thing has went on, it does seem more and more like it was more of the real pull variety versus the tweak variety, which is what it's seeming like with Jaylen Warren, man. So if that is the case, sometimes it might be better to just sit you down. But this is why I'm kind of frustrated with just the handling of it. I would have much rather if it was a true pull, like everything is looking, why not have just IR'd him and allowed him that time to work his way to fully being back versus what we're dealing with right now, because you can't help us, but we can't help the roster either because of the situation. So, just frustrating, man.
Yeah. Black and yellow Texas Steel. Some fantasy advice.
Uh-oh.
Pickens or Deontay as the flex.
Ooh.
They basically have equivalent stats right now. They're both a little over 500. Pickens has 2 touchdowns. Deontay doesn't have a touchdown.
Well, if you think that the big plays are going to be there and we're actually going to utilize it and capitalize on it, then you go with Pickens. If you think it's one of those ones where you're going to yak him to death and route him to death, then you go Deontay.
It would be a bad thing to maybe bench one of your start. I don't know who your other receivers are. Maybe your wide receiver too. But I just think this is a good matchup for Steelers receivers against the Falcons defense.
To play both of them? What you're saying?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Play both of them. I don't know whose receiver 2 is, though.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good matchup. I know people will say Deke, you're a homer and stuff, but it objectively is. The Falcons' defense is just not good, both against the run and the pass.
Yeah. See, for me,
and Pickens last week. Dude, think last week. Just if they caught more balls, Pickens ends up with 100 and a touchdown. Deontay also has a touchdown, too.
Yeah, but we're talking about the likelihood of both guys in our offense going over 100 yards through the air. Like, I don't think we designed for that right now, man. I don't think we take that approach. Like, I think it's one or the other. I wouldn't go both. I'll go one or the other. Yeah.
You just throw a dart at the dartboard.
Yeah. Now, me personally, I got Deontay on my team. I'm contemplating keeping him in the flex. I don't know just yet because my flex, I've had some nice situations in my flex, Trey Burks was my flex last week, and he delivered very handsomely, man. Now, part of that was a little fluky fumble recovery, but either way, he delivered the way that I needed to because, like I said, it was a late pickup, too. It was like, you know what? I didn't like the vibe for Deontay this week. I was like, I don't know why. I was like, I just don't like this vibe. Let me just go ahead and do that. And Trey Burks, he delivered the way that I need him to deliver. I've had Jahan Dotson in that flex as well at times, man. So,
hey, so black and yellow Texas Steel. Yeah. If you're gonna be rolling with Deontay as flex, maybe he could too, just like as a camaraderie thing.
Oh,
you guys are in it together.
Whoa! Don't you put me on that? I don't do camaraderie with my fantasy team. All right, we don't do this. We're winners only, 55 and 52. Okay.
You don't want your decisions dictated on anything else.
Nope. When I lose, it's because of me. When I win, it's because of me.
You're thinking about Deontay though. What
No,
are your options? So is it Burks and Dotson? That's who you're up against?
Well, I haven't re-looked at it for this week's one since I just changed it. But let me pull it up real quick. Let me see who are my other options currently on my roster. Because like I said, my starters are Justin Jefferson, Michael Pittman Jr. All right, we just throw that out there. Then, like I said, for my flex, I've had Trey Burks. Right now on the bench, I got Marquez Valdez Scantling, MVS. You know him over in with the Chiefs. Like I said, Deontay is up there. So yeah, man. And like I said, that was off of what I just had redone for this past game when I had dropped Dotson and then brought in Burks as well. So yeah, that's what my.
I think you got to go Deontay.
Nah. You work on yours. I'm gonna keep mine on mine. It's all right.
Damn. Damn.
because you try to throw this Deontay in there, but you got that Steeler Deontay that you pushing. It's not just Deontay purely.
No,
Deontay,
I think this is a great matchup.
No, man, you give me some Steeler in that thing, man. You give me some Steeler in that thing, man. Hold on, I got to evaluate my other opportunities with my franchise, with my fantasy team. I thought about Mike Pittman. I was like, should I sit Mike Pittman? I'm glad I didn't sit him. He gave me some points. I needed them buckets. All right. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you need him to get off a little bit, but make sure we win. But we won. Chill. Come on, man. We. How you think I felt when I had Justin Jefferson against the Buffalo Bills? I was over here like, dang, you give me all the points I need. I hate this though.
You know what
I'm saying?
Yep, that's fantasy. It's tough.
Like he caught the one-hander. I'm like, should I throw up or should I be turning up? Like, it's that type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Only fantasy does that. I hate it.
I feel like you're coming around to it, though. You didn't like it at first.
I didn't, but it's stuff like that where I'm just laughing at. I don't know if I'm laughing at it or laughing at myself, but it's a good situation either way. So I am enjoying it partly. Maybe because
it sounds like your league's pretty active and at least interesting and entertaining.
Yeah. It's fun, and because like these my boys, so it's like we already in the group chat already, so it's just something else that just add to the craziness that goes on. Yeah.
All right, a couple more here. Ryan McPherson about to head into an appointment. Peace to all except Noriega. Go Steelers. KP8 for life. Best podcast around. Facts, Moats, and Deke are legends.
Hey, you know the funny thing though? For all of them that felt some type of way about Noriega, it's like, yo, they actually get him talked about because they keep bringing it up and we keep addressing it. And it's like
he is. He's becoming a celebrity right now. He's starting to become on the level of like official momentum and like AJ Martinez in terms of being talked about.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, they keep coming up. It's gonna be a part of the show. It's just like, yeah, this is what we do. So yeah. But either way, we ain't tripping. So yeah, as long as everybody keeps it clean, we're all good, man. But it
Russell Schwartz. Moats update on Preston. He is 21 pounds and 26 inches long in 6 months.
Yes, let's go, man. Congrats. Yeah, absolutely. Some say 6 months. Let's say because sent in the summer when he sent the picture. So yeah. No, man, that is dope right there, man. Hey, if you need to send an updated pic too, man, you know what I'm saying? Moses winners, you know where to send it at, maybe. Come on, baby. Or you go to arthurmoses.com, whichever one you need to. But yeah, we want to see new updates. Come on, baby. You know, I got the baby fever. I just don't want to have any more babies, if that makes sense. Okay? I enjoy when I see a new baby. I enjoy when I get the whole of it. I be like, oh, I still got it. And all my partners have little babies and it's dope. I just don't want my own baby no more. I'm good. I'm like, yo, I got my 3. I don't need any new additions in this household right now, man. But no, I got the baby fever though.
Last one, Joe Gerbis. Not gonna lie, Miles got picked on by the Colts tight end Woods.
Not picked on. The matchup was what it was gonna be. Jelani was going to have success against any of those guys. He did against Minka. Remember, he drew the PI on the goal line. He did it against, who else was he going against? Devin Bush, Miles Jack. I don't remember if Edmonds had him or not. But Jelani Woods, man, it's a tough matchup, man. But I thought that Miles did what he's supposed to do. He tackled the catch. You know, if you're going to be man-to-man, you got to tackle the catch. And some of the zone stuff, yeah, that was just Jelani finding a place to sit down there. But Miles, he still did enough because of what we talked about, what we were trying to do in this. If we were going to try to take away Jelani Woods, we would have implemented a way different defense, but that would have also made us a lot more susceptible to Jonathan Taylor. And that was the scary guy. That was the guy that you couldn't let beat you. So what we said was we're going to take away Jonathan Taylor but we'll give you Jelani Woods. We'll give you a favorable matchup. Miles Jack did what he needed to do. Competitive enough. He didn't get his kill. So it definitely worked, man. But salute Miles, man. That was a tough assignment, man. But like I said, at the end of the day, the goal did get what we needed. And that was making sure that offense was not explosive. And, yeah, get a dub as the ultimate end goal as well, man. So, yeah.
How about when he was looking for that pass interference on Woods? He was looking for the offensive PI, but then whenever they showed the slow motion replay, I was like, wait, dude, why are you drawing attention to yourself? Because that pass interference should have been on you. It looked like you were holding him so bad.
Yeah, because that's a tough ask, man. Jelani Woods, like I said, we're not saying that he's a great player. Nah, but he right now is a really tough athlete to deal with because of the size 6'7", 250, 260. Like, it's a big body guy, and he's nimble. He could run. He could jump a little bit. It's like, yo, you ain't just lining up against that. Nah, that's a tough ask. But in the big picture of what we're trying to accomplish, you will give up Jelani having, 7 catches for 80-something yards, but you minimize that Colts rushing attack to a certain level where Jonathan Taylor, I think he ended up with 80-something yards or whatever, but never felt like he was taking over the game. He had some moments, but it never. No,
I think a lot of that came on that one drive.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's what I'm saying. So it was like it never got out of hand, but that was a part of the pros and cons of what we were going to do defensively. So that's like I said, it's one of them things where I don't necessarily look at it as, Miles getting picked on. It was just, this is something that we're going into saying right now this is going to be a bad matchup. You just can't let your losses be like how it was when it was T. Higgins versus Arthur Maulet. We knew that was going to be some negatives with that as well, right? The difference was it got too negative, and that's where it can really hurt you, right? Whereas for this scenario, Miles, it never got to that point. It was getting kind of questionable, but it didn't get to that point, so we can run with that.
That was the last one.
I like it then, man. No, dude, that was a vibe though, baby. That was a good one today, man. So, yeah, like we said, tomorrow, man, we'll be back in the flesh together the way it's supposed to be. Having a little bit of fun, man. We'll continue, or we'll dive into the game preview where we'll give our score predictions and stuff like that. Also look around the league stack paper. I will keep you posted on potential guests for tomorrow. If we do have one, well, obviously, drop something to shout that. I'll let y'all know. If not, either way, we're going to turn up for the culture. But either way, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, man. Stay safe out there. Hit that like button, subscribe if you have not done so. And until next time, baby.
Peace.